It is a beautiful night for baseball here in Florida, and once again we should have a sellout crowd on hand. As tonight, the YES Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It's going to be the Yankees against the Pittsburgh Pirates from George M. Steinbrenner Field in Tampa, Florida. Hi, everybody. I'm Ken Singleton. Lou Piniella and John Flaherty will be joining me in just a moment. Well, the big news a couple of days ago was Andy Pettitte re-signing with the Yankees. The big news today is Andy Pettitte is in camp. In fact, he threw a bullpen earlier, and he just recently had a press conference. This is what Andy had to say to the media.
I feel like I never left. I mean, it was just like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just weird. In my mind, I've been, the last few days just been really set on, you got to take it slow. You got to take it slow, and we've got plenty of time. And I told Larry as soon as I got done, I'm like, you're going to have to make me take it slow. I mean, I feel really good, When me and my wife talked about it, and there was no considering going anywhere else, Obviously, I think I could have probably considered other places and got a lot more money, But this is where my heart was, man. I had no desire to go anywhere else.
Well, Andy Pettitte is one of the older pitchers in the league, and one of the younger pitchers will be pitching tonight for the New York Yankees. Michael Pineda gets the start, looking for his fastball to heat up. He'll be in there against the veteran Eric Bedard for the Pittsburgh Pirates. So we come back, it'll be the Yankees and the Pittsburgh Pirates from Steinbrenner Field. Don't go away. It's all coming up next on YES. Brought to you in part by Cadillac. Visit CadillacTristate.com to find a dealer near you. By W.B. Mason for office furniture and supplies at amazingly low prices. Who but W.B. Mason? And by the Really Big Sales Event. Real deals, big inventory now at your Honda dealer. Well, welcome to Steinbrenner Field in Tampa, Florida. And it looks like we're going to have another sellout crowd on hand as tonight the New York Yankees are taking on the Pittsburgh Pirates. And we're going to take a look at the Pittsburgh Pirate lineup. It's made out by their manager, Clint Hurdle. At the very top is going to be the left fielder, Alex Presley. He'll be leading off. He'll be followed by former Yankee farmhand, Jose Tabata. He'll be in right field. Andrew McCutcheon, an all-star. He's in center field. Neil Walker will be at second base. He'll clean up. Garrett Jones will be at first base. Rod Barajas, veteran catcher, will be behind the plate. Pedro Alvarez will be at third. Clint Barbas will be at short. And pitching and batting tonight will be Eric Bedard for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Well,
The young lineup for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Going to get a look at a young right-hander for the New York Yankees, Michael Pineda. We'll take a look at his numbers last year with the Mariners, an all-star season. 3.74 ERA, and the opposing batters 211 against him. And we'll look at our Volkswagen pitchers scouting report on Michael Pineda, and he's looking to stretch it out a little bit tonight. This is the point in spring training. You want to get that pitch count up maybe to about 80 tonight. And he's had a good spring, 1-0 with a 3.24 ERA. But you might not know it because everybody's talking about that final piece. Where is the velocity with the fastball? We'll see if it shows up tonight.
Let's check out the Yankees defense, which is brought to you by the Home Depot. In the outfield from left to right, it's going to be Brett Gardner, Curtis Granderson, and Nick Swisher. And in the infield from left to right, third to first, it's going to be Rodriguez, Nunez, Cano, Teixeira, and Russell Martin doing the catching. So, Lou, if you got Pineda on the mound, what are you looking for him tonight?
Well, Larry Rothschild told me that his last 2 bullpen sessions have been much better. He's looking for 5 innings, 75 to 80 pitches, like John mentioned. And I think you'll see a much better fastball tonight.
Well, Pineda's just about ready to go. He'll be facing Alex Presley, who's a speedster for the Pittsburgh Pirates, and leading off. Presley had some experience in the big leagues last year, youngster out of the University of Mississippi. And the first pitch of the game is in there for a called strike.
Guys, I was laughing coming to the park today. We heard all about the changeup, and that's the pitch Pineda's got to work on in spring. Well, that's quickly changed. The changeup pretty good. Velocity not there yet on the fastball.
They want to see the fastball. I was talking to Brian Cashman, and that's exactly what he said. We got this kid to throw hard. We're waiting for it.
A little bit low, and the pitch is the count is now 2 balls and a strike. Now, Lou, would you have some concerns if you're managing this kid? You said, where is it? Let's see it.
Well, spring training is sometimes it takes certain pitchers a little longer than it does others. And, you know, coming into camp, Larry Rothschild told me, he says, we've really got to work on this guy's changeup. Maybe they worked on the changeup so much, on the breaking ball so much, that the fastball is lagging a little bit.
Count has run full as Presley's up there now with a count of 3-2. He'll be followed by Tabata and then McCutchen here in the first inning for the Pittsburgh Pirates.
But I'll tell you what, you get Pineda, you get Nova, 2 good-looking young right-handed studs out there.
3-2 pitch on the ground is short. Nunez to his left is up with it. Throws a little bit low, but Teixeira handles it, and that is out number 1. Well, you mentioned it's a beautiful night, but let's check out the game time weather conditions brought to you by Toyota. I mean, the weather's been just spectacular throughout the spring training session for the Yankees. 80 degrees, partly cloudy here in Tampa tonight, and in the Bronx, how about that? 60. Scattered. It takes 60 on opening day. I remember a few opening days, Lou, back in the day when it's snowing.
Hey, listen, we had a blizzard one time and missed the first 10 days of the season.
First pitch is in there to Tabata. Looked like a slider.
You know, one more point about Pineda. He pitched for Seattle last year, comes over to a high-profile team like the Yankees. It's a little bit of an adjustment for him, too.
Well, in Seattle, I'm sure they don't have as many writers in the media around the clubhouse as they do with the Yankees. Pitch is hit in the air, foul back behind home plate.
And early indications with the velocity around 90, 91, maybe touching 92. But really the slider's been the pitch for me this spring, seeing some of the highlights. A really big strikeout pitch.
There it is right there, and the count is leveled off at 2-2.
Yeah, it's been his best pitch all spring.
Last year with the Mariners, about a strikeout per inning, which is a good ratio for a pitcher. Count has now gone full. 2 hitters in a row, he's gone to count full and has thrown 11 pitches.
Well, you know, talking about the writers here in New York, they carry radar guns with them.
Here's the payoff pitch, and it's fouled back. 93 on that one.
Yeah, he's starting to get it there. You know, maybe he's got to have, like Lou said, working on the changeup, working on the slider, and you see the scouts and all the guns filling out their reports. But maybe it takes one of those couple of innings, Lou, or a game where he says, you know what, I'm just going to let it eat tonight and establish that fastball.
High drive, right center field's going to be in there for a base hit. So Tabata comes up with a hit. He's aboard.
And let's even look at this 3-2 count, and he goes with the slider. Supposed to be a power arm, you know, to a guy, Tabata, who didn't have a great year last year. Definitely not a power threat, and he goes with the slider and a pretty good pitch for a strike. A nice piece of hitting. But maybe at some point your mentality changes there, 3-2, and says, I'm going to challenge you with something and see what you can do with it.
I just had a flashback there. Those are the type of hits that Lou Piniella used to get on a tough down and away pitch over second base, line drive, but the only difference was 2 runs would score. Here's McCutchen.
Well, Kenny, you're much too kind, because I remember rolling that ball over to shortstop for a double play many times also.
Yeah, well, that's why when you're a 300 hitter, you're going to fail 70% of the time. McCutchen's an all-star last year, probably the Pirates' best player. 2020, he had 23 home runs, 23 steals, and they just signed him to a 5-year extension. And he takes a pitch outside for a ball.
And a wise move by the Pirates. You can build your ball club around this young man. He's got all the tools, and he's got power and speed to boot.
And he was a first-round draft pick. The teams love it when their first-round picks really pan out back in 2005. Swing and a miss, and the count is 2-1. In fact, the Pirates have several of their former #1 picks. Cleanup hitter Neil Walker's a #1 hitter, #1 pick. You can see how he has progressed, adding more power to his game, becoming a better hitter. Runners on the move. The pitch is outside for a ball. The throw to second. Cano can't handle it. Tabata's up and is going to move on to third on the throw in the dirt by Russell Martin. So that should be a stolen base and an E2.
You can see Russell Martin patting himself on the chest protector, saying, my bad. He's missed a few days with that groin problem and gets a pretty good pitch to throw on. Fastball down and away. A little bit low, and that's a play you usually see Robinson Cano make or at least knock down. But Russell Martin taking the blame. He's got to be a little bit rusty, a few days off. I'm used to seeing Robinson make that play all the time and make it look easy.
Well, if he comes up with it, I think that Tabata's out. Instead, he's on third with 1 out and a 3-1 count on Andrew McCutchen. Breaking ball. Curveball drops in there from Pineda.
Yeah, that's one thing for a young pitcher. You don't want to see 3-2 counts to the first 3 hitters up in the lineup.
Three-2 pitch fouled off the mask of Russell Martin and on back to the screen. You're right, Lou, because take something off the back end of your stay out there. You might not be out there as long.
No question. And it gives those hitters in the on deck circle and in the dugout a good look at what you're throwing that day. Velocity, break on the breaking pitch.
Once again, a 3-2 pitch on the way. And it's hit in the air down the right field side. Teixeira over near the stands. Does he have room? No, it's about 4 rows back.
You know, talking about McCutchen's power numbers, Pittsburgh's a big field out there in left center, and even in center.
Beautiful ballpark.
Beautiful ballpark, beautiful skyline of the city. But boy, you have to powder river that ball to hit it out of the ballpark.
Ball is fouled back, and we went there a couple years ago, Lou, for a interleague series. And one thing I noticed, all the statues outside the stadium were of hitters. You had Ralph Kiner, Willie Stargell, Roberto Clemente, Honus Wagner. Here's Clint Hurdle, the manager, who came over last year, did a heck of a job with his ball club. Yep, got the Pirates turned around into the right direction. 3-2 pitch is hit well to left field, and this one is not coming back. It's a 2-run home run for Andrew McCutchen, and the Pirates jump out to a 2-0 lead. Well, we were talking about his power, Lou, and he shows it off.
I think this is a hanging breaking ball, John. And you're right. I mean, first inning, let that pitch go. Nice fastball down the way, get the ground ball to second base, but here he hangs a breaking ball.
Yeah, it's spinning right in the middle of the plate. You can see Pineda knows it right away. That'll speed a hitter's bat up. Ends up being a 2-run home run, his second of the spring.
Guy's a good player. Here's Neil Walker, the second baseman, and he takes a pitch for a called strike.
Take another look from the side, and you get a good look at the extension and the bat speed through the strike zone. A little bit of wind going out to left field that helps him.
Change up's a little bit low, and the count is 1-1. Neil Walker, interesting story. Switch hitting second baseman, born and raised and still lives in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. There's a pitch for a called strike. And we told you that McCutchen was a first-round pick in 2005. The year before, it was Walker who was the first-round pick of the Pittsburgh Pirates. So they got first-rounders batting third and fourth in their batting order. Pitch is fouled off.
Hanging around the batting cage today with the Pirates, they feel very, very confident about their team. They won 72 games last year, and you spoke about Clint Hurdle, how he changed the attitude. That was a 15-game improvement from the season before. And I was told from the hitting instructor, Greg Ritchie, we are a better team today. We're going to have a good year.
Well, you look at the National League Central. Pujols is not in St. Louis.
Yeah.
Fielder's not in Milwaukee.
Yep.
Cincinnati's got a nice solid ball club. The Cubs are rebuilding a little bit, and so is Houston. So Pittsburgh really is in the mix to win the division.
Pitch is hit into right field. A solid single for Walker. Third consecutive hit for the Pirates here in the top of the first inning off Pineda.
28 pitches, and that's what Lou was talking about early on with a lot of 3-2 counts. And you'll see where it ends up. I mean, that misses. You see Russell Martin reaching back towards the middle of the plate. So velocity not great, and the location not there either.
And Russell Martin now going out to the mound to talk to Pineda just to slow things up here and before the pitching coach comes out there.
You know, Lou, wouldn't you think that the attitude of a losing ball club would be the toughest thing to change for Clint Hurdle last year coming in?
Yeah, you've got to change the attitude. No question about it. Players, when you win, you have a positive attitude. When you lose, it's tough. It's tough coming to the ballpark every day and being on the losing side of things. And when a new manager gets hired, that's what he has to change more than anything else. The mentality.
Garrett Jones takes a pitch low. Jones playing at first base tonight.
You can go about it any way you want, but that's what you have to change, that losing mentality.
I'll tell you what, Clint Hurdle last year on July 25th had the Pirates in first place in the National League Central. That's the turnaround that Lou's talking about. Pitch is low, and it's ball two. 2 balls and no strikes.
He's a good baseball man. I'm talking about Clint. I was with him at one of the All-Star games, and he gave a speech to the National League team that I was really impressed with.
Remember when he first came up, Lou, with the Kansas City Royals and made the cover of Sports Illustrated?
Good-looking young hitter.
Yeah.
He had a few successful years in the big leagues.
Yeah.
Now, he wasn't a Kenny Singleton.
There
aren't too many of those.
No, there aren't two. That's right.
He wasn't a George Brett. That's who was the main guy.
Oh, boy. Could George hit?
Oh, my goodness. He could turn around anybody's fastball. Speaking of that, Jones might be swinging 3-0 here. He's taken all the way, and it's over the outside corner for a strike. Now, Jones was signed as a minor league free agent 3 years ago by the Pirates, and since then, he has led their team in home runs. He's hit 58 home runs in 3 years. That was a good pickup by Neil Huntington, the general manager. Runners on the move. The pitch is swung on and missed. The throw to second is in plenty of time as Russell Martin throws out Neil Walker. And that's the second out of the inning.
I'll tell you what, there is not a better feeling for a catcher when you could pick up your pitcher who's struggling. The pitch count is high, and you can pick up a stolen base with throwing a runner out at second to get to the second out of the inning. A little bit offline, but they're in plenty of time.
Lou, when you're hitting that situation, you got to make contact, don't you?
Well, you would hope so. The manager had enough confidence to send the runner.
3-2 pitch is high for ball 4. The inning's going to continue.
Yeah, as a hitter, you've got to do your part.
You know, guys, I watched this inning, and it's the first time I've seen Pineda live. He has not thrown a fastball to the inside part of the plate on a lefty or a righty. And you watch all these hitters, they feel very comfortable. The ball's going to be away from them, whether it's a fastball, slider, or a change. Something we'll pay attention to as this game goes on.
Well, over the winter, the Pirates signed Rod Barajas, who steps in right now. He's a veteran catcher, 11-year veteran. Last 3 years he's been with the Dodgers. He's averaged 17 home runs a year, but he's going to help them with their young pitchers. Pitches outside. In fact, he's kind of hooked up with A.J. Burnett again. They were teammates in the past. But, of course, A.J. had that unfortunate incident, fouled the ball into his eye socket, and he's had surgery. But the good news is for Pirate fans, he's supposed to be back sooner than later. But his recovery might be in the near offing here. He might be showing up sooner. Pitches in there for a strike to Barajas. And Lou, do you find it interesting tonight that the Pirates have their pitcher's going to hit Eric Bedard?
Well, that's a tough thing for a pitcher that's been in the American League like Bedard for so long. You can see what happened to Burnett just bunting.
Yeah.
It's dangerous when you put a bat in a pitcher's hand, John. Although a few of them swing it pretty well.
Yep. That last pitch was a strike to Barajas, and the count is 2-1.
But for the most part, I'd rather see a DH up there hacking away than the pitcher.
This ball's hit well down the left field line. It's curving, foul. It had the distance, but not the direction.
Barajas has some power. We saw the home runs last year with L.A. The Yankees have to be a little concerned with some of these swings against Pineda. As you see, it hooks foul.
It's out in the street somewhere.
But again, guys, another pitch away out over the plate. Really just pitching to one side of the plate right here in the first inning.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and the Pirates have 2 runners in. This ball is popped up. Mark Teixeira calling near the bag at first. He will make the catch in foul territory. The Pirates have finally retired. Hit at top of the first inning. They picked up 2 runs on 3 hits, and they leave a runner. It's 2-0 Pittsburgh. Nothing Pittsburgh. The Yankees have come to the bat. Let's check out the Yankees starting lineup presented by Lexus. At the top tonight, leading off is going to be Curtis Granderson. Nick Swisher back in the lineup. He had a little groin problem, but he's playing in the lineup tonight. Robinson Cano hit by a pitch the other day down in Sarasota. He's playing. Alex Rodriguez will be at third cleaning up. Mark Teixeira will be at first. Andrew Jones, the designated hitter tonight. Russell Martin doing the catching. Eduardo Nunez at shortstop, and Brett Gardner will be in left field.
Well, a lot of regulars in there for the New York Yankees in that lineup, and they're going to face veteran left-hander Eric Bedard. Looks a little strange in a Pittsburgh Pirate uniform. Used to seeing him in the American League with Baltimore and Seattle the last couple of years, and Boston. Pretty good ERA last year, 3.62 and 129 in the third innings. Look at our Volkswagen pitcher scouting report on Bedard. Spent a few years in Seattle, but they did not go well. A lot of left shoulder problems, and he had a nice rebound year last year in 2011 with the 129 innings and the respectable ERA. And the Pirates looking for him to be a one-year leader for the Pittsburgh Pirates, signed a one-year deal, veteran left-hander.
Here's the pitch to Curtis Granderson leading off for the Yankees, and it's blown away for ball 1. That one-year deal that Flash was talking about. Pirates signed Bedard to a $4.5 million one-year contract. And that's poured in there for a strike. It's 1-1 to Granderson. So Granderson did last year. He's having a good spring, hitting at .333 with a home run. And And that kind of crowded him. Swing and a miss, and it's strike 2.
87-mile-an-hour fastball. I remember when Bedard threw it 94, 95 consistently.
That's when he first came up with the Orioles. In fact, he became the leader of the staff. 1-2 pitch, misses outside, 2-2. Looked like a changeup. Bedard made his major league debut against the Yankees on April 17, 2002. That's when he was with the Baltimore Orioles. Granderson swings. He hits this one well in left center field. This is going to chase Presley back along with McCutchen. Neither one are going to get it. It's a double as the ball bounds over the wall. Granderson will have to return. Well, that's a good sign with that much power to the opposite field.
Curtis just continuing what he did last year, hitting against left-handers. You like the fact he got behind in the count early, did not try to do too much, and got a mistake on a 2-2 pitch up out over the plate, drills it the other way. Bounces over the wall for a ground rule double.
Yeah, that's a pitch that if you try to pull, you usually roll it over to second base. He went right with it and drove it right into that gap in left center field.
Here's Nick Swisher. Batting in the second slot, back in the lineup tonight. I was talking to Nick before the game. He said he feels much better. He said he felt the twinge in his groin. And of course, in spring training, they're going to be careful. You know, sometimes you feel like during the season they might put you in the lineup, but not in spring training. They're going to let you be 100% healthy before you get out there and play. That pitch is in there for a called strike.
You know, Kenny, looking at Granderson leading off there at second base, he's got a nice number.
Oh, I remember that. And that number was at second base quite a bit after a double. That's Lou Pinella's old number. Curveball drops in nicely for a strike, and it's 0-2 on Swisher. Those are some great Yankee teams back in the 70s and the 80s.
And you all had great teams there in Baltimore.
Yeah.
And you know, the Red Sox weren't too bad up in Fenway either.
It was a three-way battle every year.
I'm telling you.
Three-way battle. It was, Lou, thanks for the competition. It was great. The 0-2, look out, he gets out of the way, and it's a ball and 2 strikes. I always used to kid Bobby Mercer, the late Bobby Mercer, in the booth. I'd say, Bobby, you know, 30 years ago, I wouldn't have given a plug nickel for you guys, but, you know, thinking about the competition, what we were able to do in a half a life ago, and that was some pretty good stuff.
Yeah, it really has. The Yankees were pretty good guys, weren't they?
Yeah. Tough to beat, I'll say that. 1-2 on Swisher. Inside again, the count levels off at 2 balls and 2 strikes. You know, you think about those teams that George Steinbrenner put together. You know, you and Thurman, and Willie Randolph, and Reggie, and Greg Nettles, and the pitchers like Guidry. I couldn't hit him. And Goose, Ed Figueroa. I mean, some great Yankee team. Tough.
And no, he used free agency better than any other owner in baseball.
Sparky Lyle, 2-2 pitch, just outside. The count is run full at 3-2. And I know there's Yankee fans out there who remember those days. And of course, Reggie came over as a free agent. In fact, he left Baltimore to sign with the Yankees. Brad likes big city.
He's giving Alex some hitting tips right now.
Swing hard in case you hit it.
That's it.
The 3-2 pitch, and Swisher takes inside for ball 4, and the first 2 Yankees are on. Well, Sunday night the Yankees were down in Sarasota, and this was scary if you're a Yankee fan. Cano's at the plate. Troy Patton delivers, and Cano is hit by a pitch. The left hand is hit by the pitch, but Cano's back in there. He's okay. Stevie Donahue quickly out there to check on him. You know, you can almost tell what type of ball player you're on a team, how quickly the trainer gets out to check on you.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Manager, trainer. You know, if they had, the doctor would be on the field as well. Here's Cano. And you can see why. 118 runs batted in a year ago. And the first pitch is poured in there for a called strike.
You know, if you're struggling a lot, or you're in a slump, the manager might hold the trainer back a little bit.
Well, we'll see how the hand reacts. Remember the last game we were, Kenny hit a 3-run bomb.
Oh, hit it over the bleachers in right field.
A couple of good at-bats that day.
Ooh, that's a good swing. Seems like the hand is okay. Fouled it back and is in the hole. No balls and 2 strikes.
Well, Robbie uses his lower body really, really well to hit. Great weight shift.
There is Stevie Donahue, who's now the head athletic trainer for the Yankees with the retirement of Gene Monahan, longtime trainer with the Yankees.
He was there when I played. How about that? He and Monahan.
Yeah. Stevie's a Mount Vernon guy, Mount Vernon, New York. That's where I'm from. Cano hits one hard. This could be 2. Barmes to Walker. It's a double play. Tailor-made double play ball on the play. Granted, should have moved over to third, but Cano stung it. That's just what Bedard was looking for.
He was looking for the double play ground ball, and Cano in the hole 0-2, trying to drive one the other way. Hits this ball right on the nose. Unfortunately for him, right at the shortstop to Walker, and a pretty easy 6-4-3 double play.
Here's Alex Rodriguez batting in the cleanup spot tonight. A-Rod's got a couple of home runs this spring. If I could change up in for a strike. Now, Lou, you had Alex as a rookie.
Yeah,
you get the
a
sense
good-looking young rookie.
Yeah, you had the sense he's going to be this type of player.
You could tell he was going to be really, really good. Now, as great as he's been, you got to see it. But boy, the ability was there.
19 years old. That pitch misses.
Yeah, the work ethic was there. Wanting to be really, really good was there. He had all the ingredients. It's just a question of a little experience. I think after a year and a half, he led the league in hitting.
20 years old, hit 358, led the American League. That is bursting upon the scene. Also led the league in runs scored that year and hit, by the way, hit 36 homers too.
And Seattle's not an easy ballpark to do that.
Where did you bat him in the lineup? Do you remember?
He made the lineup for me. He and Ken Griffey Jr. made out the lineup for me.
It's a pretty good tandem right there.
You know, it's true. Players make out the lineup for managers. You think if a guy's swinging the bat well, he can hit just about anywhere in the lineup he chooses to hit it.
You also had Jay Buhner on those teams.
And I had Edgar Martinez.
Yeah.
And Edgar was really, really good. I mean, really good.
Ball 3. Alex ahead on the count, 3 balls and a strike.
You know, and this year here for the Yankees to be really, really good offensively, Alex and Teixeira have to have good years for them.
Stay healthy.
Stay healthy.
Yeah. And is high for ball 4. So Bedard allows his third base runner of the inning, second walk, and it's going to give Teixeira a chance to hit here in the first with the Yankees down by 2. When you think about the Yankee lineup and just trying to pitch through these guys 3 times and stay in the game, I mean, it's the second leading run scoring team in baseball last year. You start putting men on, eventually somebody's going to do something to drive them in. Teixeira with 111 runs batted in a year ago. High and away for ball 1. Been a slow first inning for both pitchers.
A lot of pitches.
There's a call strike, 1-1.
Well, I don't know if I'd be taking that one.
I've seen Lou come out of his shoes a few times. That spinning swing. 1-1 pitch hit on the ground towards short. Barmes has it on the backhand, throws across the body, and it's a good one. And the Yankees going to leave 2 men on here in the bottom of the first inning. No runs, a hit, 2 left. At the end of 1, the Pirates have the lead at 2-0. to you in part by Chevy with a full line of award-winning models. Find out more at ChevyOffers.com. By 5-Hour Energy, when you gotta get stuff done. And by the all-new 2013 Lexus GS. There's no going back. Ken Singleton with John Flaherty and Lou Piniella here tonight. Michael Pineda in his second inning of work. You can see he had a rough first inning. He gave up a 2-run home run to Andrew McCutchen. Left a lot of pitches out over the plate. Let's see if there's any improvement here in the second inning. He faces Pedro Alvarez. And Alvarez takes a pitch for a strike. Alvarez, the third baseman. Out of Horace Mann High School in New York. He was the New York High School Player of the Year back in 2005. That's inside for a ball. Went on to play at Vanderbilt University for Tim Corbin. Does a fine job as a coach at that university. And while he was at Vanderbilt, he was doing more than studying. Hit 49 home runs. Pitches high. And at the time, his school record, 2 balls and a strike. And then the Pirates drafted him. Is there a theme here? The Pirates drafted him #1 in 2008. That pitch misses low and inside, 3 balls and a strike.
Yeah, we're talking to Greg Ritchie, the hitting instructor for the Pirates. He said this kid Alvarez, as you take a look at his resume, has the ability really to get to that next level. Has all the tools. Hasn't put it together in the big leagues yet.
There's a call strike, and the count is now full at 3-2. In fact, last year was an injury-plagued year. He had quadricep problems. Sent down to the minor leagues twice. And overall just hit 191 in Pittsburgh. He's got 4 hits in spring training, but 2 of them are home runs. And he chases one here, and that's not going to help. And there's a strikeout.
He helps Pineda out a little bit with a fastball that's out of the strike zone, and he chases. But again, a deep count, behind in the count for the young right-hander. Boy, it's a lot tougher to pitch at this level when you're 3-0, 3-1, 3-2.
Here's Clint Barmas, who spent 11 years in the Rockies organization. The Pirates signed him to a 2-year deal. You're looking for some solid shortstop play from this guy. And he fouls one off. Pirates weren't getting that last year. And they signed a veteran at shortstop, middle infield. You got to be strong up the middle. There's a call strike, 1-2.
All right, I love the pitch selection there. A fastball inside. Even if you miss in there, you give these hitters something else to think about.
Swing and a miss on a breaking ball. Good slider got him. So back-to-back strikeouts for Pineda. Maybe fighting back a bit here in the second inning.
Yeah, and you wonder if that fastball inside the pitch before helps him out here. The little cutter, maybe a changeup.
Yeah, it was nasty, wasn't it? Whatever it was unhittable.
Well, one thing, he's got about 50 pitches already, and they wanted him to throw 75 or 80.
Here's the pitcher, Eric Bedard.
5 innings of work, he might not get there.
Yep.
Now the Pirates thinking, Clint Hurdle thinking that the pitchers are going to have to hit during the regular season. Why not hit in spring training? Although, as of yet, Bedard has not swung the bat. It's 0-2. Career. He swings at that one, fouls it back.
Well, we're halfway through spring training now. Season's what, a couple weeks away?
Yeah.
They've got to get some at bats.
You know, some of those pitchers that you mentioned, Lou, pretty good. They can help themselves. Not here. Call strike 3. Pineda strikes out the side in the second inning as the Pirates go in order. On to the bottom of the second. Pittsburgh in the lead. Individual game tickets for the 2012 season at Yankee Stadium go on sale as part of the pre-on sale exclusively for MasterCard cardholders starting Thursday, March 22nd at 10 a.m. and continuing through Sunday, March 25th at 10 p.m. To use your MasterCard to purchase tickets beginning March 22nd, visit Yankees.com/priceless or Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. Andrew Jones not wasting any time, swings at the first pitch and pops it up way up there. Garrett Jones, the first baseman, puts it away, and there is one out. Well, let's take a look at the Pirates defensively, brought to you by the Home Depot. Presley, McCutchen, and Tabata in the outfield. Alvarez, Barnes, Walker, Jones in the infield. Barajas doing the catching for Eric Bedard.
Well, that was a quick at bat for Andrew Jones. But one thing I've noticed this spring, if he gets a good pitch to hit on first pitch sequence, especially the fastball, he takes a good hack at it.
Yeah, he doesn't get cheated, Lou. Here's Russell Martin. Martin back in the lineup tonight. He too was bothered by a groin issue, and he takes looked like maybe a cutter in there for a call strike.
You know, Kenny, you already know this. Lou, you're going to find this out when you bring up a topic on this network. Jack Curry, who's one of our reporters, he's all over it. He's just texting me about how many at bats Alex had his rookie year in 1996. 594 in the number 2 spot you hit him. And he also hit 63 times in the 9-hole. So you moved him around quite a bit.
Well, I was pretty smart in the 2-hole, not too smart in the 9-hole. Well, I hit him in front of Edgar.
A pretty good place to hit.
Pretty good place to hit. Yeah, Edgar was a really good hitter.
And then Junior followed Edgar, right?
I'm sorry, I hit him in front of Junior, and Edgar hit after Junior.
Okay.
Yeah,
you couldn't have gone wrong either way.
And then we had Buhner. So we had a pretty nice situation 2 through 5.
The 2-1 pitch, and that is in there for a call strike. Make that strike 3. The scoreboard had 2 and 1, but actually there were 2 strikes on Mark. And Bedard picks up his first strikeout.
We'll take a look. Bedard moving his fastball in and out, and he locks up Russell Martin. We mentioned missing a few days because of that groin. Take him a few at bats to get comfortable again.
Yeah, mentioning Junior and Alex, I had the best young player in baseball in Alex and the best player in baseball in Junior. Quite a luxury for a manager.
Lou, in those days I was doing games for Fox, and they'd send me, I was working games for Montreal during the week. They'd send me all the way to Seattle. And I like going out there. I love Seattle. And to watch your team, a very entertaining team. Oh,
that was at Safeco. New ballpark. No, that was the Kingdome.
Yeah. Pitch to Nunez, who recently returned to the lineup. He'd been hit by a pitch.
Now, Alex, I played with Alex a little bit. I know he'd love to talk hitting. You have a lot of conversations with him, obviously, him and Edgar.
We were talking just before the ball game.
Really?
A little hitting. Yeah, he loves to talk hitting, no question about it. And he knows what he's talking about.
Nunez takes a pitch for a strike.
Nunez is a good-looking young hitter.
Yeah.
Ball jumps off his bat. Boy, Alex looks good this spring, doesn't he? Nice and relaxed. Looks in great shape. He's feeling fine physically. Let's keep him that way.
Yeah. Return to that 3-time MVP form.
Might be one of the toughest jobs for Joe Girardi this year, keeping him healthy, giving him some days as a DH. Also, Derek in the same situation.
Well, he's got the luxury with Chavez.
Yeah.
To play some third base.
Nunez rips one foul down the first base side.
I guess Nunez would be the backup at shortstop for Jeter.
And the backup at third. He also played some second when Cano got a very rare day off. When Robbie usually was a DH, that was his day off.
Outfield if you need him out there.
I remember him catching the last out in the game in Baltimore at Camden Yards, playing right field. Curveball, foul tipped into the glove of Barajas. And the Yankees go 1-2-3 here in the second inning against Eric Bedard. It's still 2-0 Pittsburgh.
that was something, again, that I felt like that I had an opportunity a long time. The Yankees gave me a while to try to decide it, and I hated that it took me as long as it did last year to tell them that I didn't think I'd be able to do it. But I never felt comfortable saying that I could come back last year, so I just felt in my heart like it was the right thing to do. My wife just is just gold. I mean, she's just going to back me with whatever I want to do, and you know, it was just, hey, if this is what you feel like in your heart's the thing we need to do as a family, and I take that very seriously, you know, about trying to figure out what, you know, way I should go as far as that, and where my kids are at and stuff like that, and just felt like everybody was good, and felt like everybody was good with it. And again, Bill, the biggest thing for me was I had that desire again. Once Cash called me and we talked in December and I started working out, the desire that wasn't there the year that I retired last year, you know, I was waking up and I was loving working out again. And
well, that was Andy Pettitte around 6 o'clock this evening, just outside of Steinbrenner Field. They're talking about what it's like coming back to the Yankees. And we're going to bring in Jack Curry now. Now, Jack, you cannot doubt this man's sincerity about coming back and pitching for the Yankees once again.
No, not at all, Kenny. Throughout that press conference and then later on, I had a one-on-one interview with Andy. And he is very committed, he is very confident, and he's very motivated. Now, some people might say, well, he's always been all of those things. But here's what I noticed. This was a decision that he obviously put a lot of thought into. And he mentioned his family there. And he talked about how he felt wanted. The fact that Brian Cashman approached him in December and said, listen, we're ready to offer you a $10 to $12 million contract. Pettitte said to himself, I've been out of baseball for a year, and they think enough of me that they would pay me that salary. So I think that helped get the desire going for him, and he really has thought this out to the point that after a 50-pitch bullpen session today, he turned to Larry Rothschild and said, I think I might be ready in 3 weeks. And Rothschild said, slow down, Andy, slow down. And Yankee fans want to know when he's coming back. He threw out May 1st as a target date. That would be about 6 weeks. That's the date he's looking toward.
Now, you mentioned his bullpen session. He says his arm feels pretty good, but he did mention when he was on the radio, on the phone with us last week about the fact that maybe his legs aren't where they should be.
He mentioned the legs today, Kenny, and the lower half. If you recall, back in 2010, the last time he did pitch, he had a groin injury that slowed him down. So he really wants to be careful with his lower half. But the arm felt great. He said he felt as if his pitches were going exactly where he wanted them to go today. Russell Martin caught him, and Martin said similar things, saying he loved the way the ball was coming out of Pettitte's hand.
Well, so we're taking a look at Pineda and the fastball for strike 3, a good one on the inner half. You know, I was wondering, Jack, who was going to be the catcher to warm him up on the side since Martin was catching tonight, but it was him.
And you know what was great, John, and you would appreciate this as being part of a battery. Pettitte actually loved the idea that Martin saw him going out on the field and said, what are you doing today? Because Pettitte's bullpen session wasn't listed with the other pitchers. The Yankees kind of slid it in today. You couldn't see it on the bulletin board. And when he told Martin what he was doing, Martin said, hold on, I want to catch you. I want to get out there. I want to start that chemistry going between the two of us. So Pettitte was very appreciative that Martin thought enough of his bullpen session to get out there and be there with him.
So what kind of pressure, Jack, do you think this puts on the rest of the Yankee rotation, knowing that Andy Pettitte thinks that May 1st is the day he's coming back?
Well, Kenny, for the second straight day, Joe Girardi said, hey, listen, if you want to keep your job, you have to pitch well to keep it. In other words, when Andy Pettitte is ready, he is taking someone's job. We don't know who it is yet, but Joe Girardi is putting out the words to the other pitchers who are competing. If you want to compete for a spot, go out there and compete. And he looked at the assembled media and said, hey, listen, Mason Williams is 19 or 20 years old. You don't think he wants to come up from the minor leagues and take Curtis Granderson's job someday? That's the attitude we want our players to have. So it is going to be a nice competition for that first month of the season. And you're right, Kenny. Once Andy gets there, someone's going to lose their spot.
Ball is fouled off by McCutchen. Pineda's looked a lot better these last 2 innings than he did the first inning, Jack. And it'd be interesting to hear what he has to say about his pitching tonight.
I agree with you, Kenny. And in speaking to Brian Cashman before the game, there's been a lot of talk about Pineda's velocity. And Cashman said, listen, we didn't have this guy in camp last year. We don't know who he is. We're still trying to learn who he is and learn what kind of pitcher he is. And he said he thinks that Pineda came in camp heavier than he did last year with the Mariners. He actually put a number on it. He said about 20 pounds. He said he's lost 10 pounds. They'd like him to lose 10 more. Cashman did have a conversation with Hal Steinbrenner today where he brought up the velocity issue. And he said to Hal Steinbrenner, listen, you're going to hear a lot about this. It's getting talked about a lot. We're not overly concerned about it right now. They love the way the changeup and the slider look. They believe that the velocity on the fastball is going to come.
Jack, we've seen several Yankees return to the lineup tonight, including Martin and Swisher, but Derek Jeter not quite yet.
Right, Jeter's not back. Kenny, he worked indoors today, never went out on the field. The next couple of days he's going to do work outdoors, and then Joe Girardi said they hope to have him back in the lineup on Friday, but Girardi said, listen, we're not going to rush this. He had a calf injury that cost him about a month last year. When you have this time in spring training, you might as well use it. He did acknowledge that if this were the regular season, Jeter would have already missed a few games by now.
Call strike 3. Pineda with a couple more strikeouts here in the third. Jack Curry will be with us in the bottom of the inning. But once again, Pineda with a 1-2-3 inning as the Pirates go in order. Yankees trying to get on the scoreboard. They trail 2-0. Trail 2-0. Brett Gardner's going to lead it off against Eric Bedard, the veteran left-hander. Gardner lays down a bunt. It's a good one. This is going to be a tough play, and it's a base hit. Brett Gardner lays down a beautiful bunt to get things started for the Yankees here in the third inning.
Leading off the inning. Perfectly executed, bringing it with him down the first base line. Play is made. Bernard's not going to be able to get there, and you wonder if this is going to be a bigger part of Brett Gardner's game this season.
Once the first baseman committed, Garrett Jones, that's all she wrote. So Gardner's on. Jack Curry's still with us, by the way.
Hey, Kenny, can I jump in on that bunt? I wanted to just tell you guys, I watched Gardner a couple of spring trainings when the days were over and everybody was already heading home. There was Gardner out there with a couple of coaches, and actually Dwayne Wise, who is a very good bunter, the non-roster invitee who will probably end up in the minor leagues. And they were working diligently on bunting, and Gardner said, I am going to make this part of my game this year. I have to. This has to be a way that I can steal a few hits. And you guys talked about it. That was perfectly executed right there.
Perfectly executed. Get him closer to being a 300 hitter.
You know, especially against a tough left-hand pitcher. Lay one down like that.
Well, first of all, the lefty's fallen off towards third base, and that gives you a little more room to bunt it to the right side.
Not only makes the infielders creep in a little closer, you can drive it by them.
Granderson hit one hard, and it's by Jones into right field. Gardner streams around second on his way to third, and the Yankees are in business here in the bottom of the third inning. Runs at first and third. Well, Jack, you got a couple of more injury notes for us. How about David Robertson? Is he getting any closer?
He is getting closer, Kenny, whereas Joe Girardi said he's looking for Friday on Jeter. He wouldn't say Friday on Robertson, but he said Friday, maybe the weekend. Still feels a little something in that foot, but the Yankees think he's very close to coming back. Robertson, I think, almost gave Girardi a heart attack a few days ago. He needed something above his locker, and he stood on a chair to reach up and get it. I don't think that's what the Yankees want to see David Robertson doing, but he's doing well. And then, of course, Freddie Garcia, another injury update. He threw today, same day as Pettit, coincidentally, and he felt fine from that hand he had been hit in. So the Yankees think he's going to be okay, too. But the competition is alive, as we said earlier. 7 pitchers for 5 spots. The Yankees are eventually going to have to figure that out.
Well, Jack, thanks for the updates on the injuries and Andy Pettit and just about everything. We'll talk to you a little bit later on. Thanks, Jack.
Sounds good.
Okay, first and third for the Yankees here in the bottom of the third inning. Nick Swisher, who drew a walk in the first, has a chance to get the Yankees on the scoreboard here. And that's a curveball, and that is in there for a called strike. So it looks like Michael Pineda can only go through 3 innings. That pitch count got up there quickly, especially the way he struggled in the first inning. And that's a familiar face. That's one that managers throughout the American League and throughout baseball did not want to see warming up in the 8th inning. 72 pitches for Pineda in 3 innings. Swisher drives one back to the screen, and the count is 0-2.
Tell you what, Nick Swisher has missed some time with that groin problem, but he had a great at bat his first at bat, behind in the count 0-2 and worked a walk. And now the same situation, behind 0-2, and had a pretty good swing at a curveball there.
I was watching Nick in batting practice. It didn't look like he'd missed any time at all. He's hitting the ball very well. Sometimes, Lou, you watch your hitters in batting practice, you can tell who might have a great night.
Well, I don't know about a great night, but you can tell. You know, you can tell who's swinging the bat. Who's got some bat speed.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Swisher checks his swing.
Like a high fastball, Bedard tried to get him to chase, and been pretty impressed with Bedard early on in this game, showing all his pitches, fastballs in and out. Doesn't have that good fastball like we talked about earlier in his career. Kind of making that adjustment to a little softer throwing lefty.
Well, I'd be looking for the breaking ball here. Well, guess wrong, didn't it?
Yeah, but it's not a strike, so it's 2-2.
For sure here now.
But to your point, Lou, I think that's what's going to make him successful in the National League. You know, he's not going to be predictable. You're going to maybe sitting off speed, and you get a fastball at 90. Might be able to be just enough velocity.
Swisher hits one to third, and off the glove of Alvarez. Barnes comes up with it, drops it. All hands are safe. Gardner scores, and it's now a 2-1 game. We'll see how they score that one.
Again, another good at bat for Nick Swisher, and Bedard runs look like a cutter inside. Could have been a possibility of a double play right there. The in-between hop beats up Alvarez.
That ball just refused to be caught. That is going to be an error on the third baseman. So the Yankees now have 2 on with nobody out. Wait a minute.
Good news.
Swisher had a groin problem. First night back in the lineup tonight, and all of a sudden Joe Girardi's out there checking on his right fielder, and might be walking a little gingerly towards the Yankee clubhouse, along with the trainer Steve Donahue. And it looks like Justin Maxwell is going to run for him.
We'll take a look getting out of the box and see if we can see anything. Maybe that little slow down. He tried to kick it into another deer, and you could see him wincing a little bit. That is not good news for the Yankees.
So Justin Maxwell running at first.
And Girardi did the right thing getting him out of the ball game. Spring training, still a lot of time. No sense taking any chances.
You know, players are competitive. He's trying to avoid hitting to a double play, and it's probably when he re-injured himself. Here's Cano. Cano hits one hard. Jones has it. He goes to Barmes for the out at second. So Maxwell is forced. The Yankees now have runners on the corners with 1 out.
We're going to get another look at Nick Swisher getting out of the box in slow motion. Rolls over that cut fastball.
Ooh.
You know, and you just can't simulate it when you're doing sprints before a game. You get into that game action, and like you said, Kenny, the competitive spirit kicks in.
Adrenaline's flowing.
Yep.
You try to kick it into another gear.
I've had groin injuries. They can linger.
It was the greatest thing with my career. I never had another gear. It was pretty much half speed.
I didn't either, but I don't know. I know how I hurt myself as A-Rod swings at foul tips it. I slipped in the outfield making a throw, and I did the splits in the outfield and
pulled the groin that way.
Yeah, if it wasn't running, I couldn't run very well. Alex drew a walk his first time up. Runners on the corners for the Yankees with 1 out. Threatening here in the bottom of the 3rd inning against the veteran Eric Bedard. And Alex hits a little looper towards center field. Coming on to McCutcheon. He won't get it. The ball drops in for a base hit. Granderson scores, and it's a 2-2 game. We'll give Alex Rodriguez an RBI, his 7th of the spring. And the Yankees have tied it up here in the bottom of the 3rd inning.
Well, we mentioned he loves to talk hitting, and here a nice job of situational hitting. Let the ball travel towards home plate. Trusting that you're going to be able to be strong enough to fight it off into center field. Just another RBI base hit.
Well, it's nice to be strong and be able to muscle that ball over the infield.
Those are the ones that really tick the pitchers off. They make a good pitch. You can break your bat, maybe saw it off, and the ball falls in for a hit, and a run scores.
Yeah, but how many times do you hit it really, really hard?
We've seen Cano hit the ball hard twice tonight and doesn't have a hit. Here's Mark Teixeira, takes a pitch for a called strike. Now, I want your guys' opinion about Mark Teixeira. He's got 314 career home runs. The career record for a switch hitter is Mickey Mantle, 536. Does he have a chance?
Wow, sounds like he definitely does, right?
This ball's hit well to center field. McCutcheon going back to the warning track, makes the catch. Tagging up at second, heading for third is Robinson Cano, and he will make it a long blast off the bat of Mark Teixeira, but straight away center field. Picked on the wrong part of the ballpark.
Take another look at the swing. What do you usually lock him in for, Kenny? 30, 35 home runs a year, pretty much year in and year out?
He's had 8 straight years where he's hit 30 or more homers.
Pretty good swing right there from the right side.
So I don't know if he'll be knocking on 30 home runs 8 years from now, but he should be knocking on the door of Mickey Mantle's record for a switch hitter.
Well, he'll only be 32 years old in April. So he's got a chance.
Yeah,
There's no question.
Here's Andrew Jones, who takes a look like a cutter down and in, ball 1.
Playing a right ballpark for it.
Yeah. And being a switch hitter has to help. I mean, those breaking balls, the curveballs, and sliders are coming towards you.
What an advantage being a switch hitter.
Oh, tell me about it. Get to play every day, too. Inside once again to Andrew Jones. 2 balls and no strikes. When I was growing up in New York, Lou, Mickey Mantle was the big guy. And everybody wanted to be a switch hitter. When I started hitting, I hit left-handed, even threw left-handed. But then I saw all the other kids hitting right-handed, throwing right-handed, so I tried that. Just pitched for a strike, 2-1. And I could do that, too. So I just started to switch hit.
And you did it well.
Thank you.
My friend.
Thank you. You know what, Lou? But that was so long ago, it feels like somebody else did it.
Well, you know, talking about long ago. I'm waiting for Brian to call me for that 10 or 12 million. Yeah. You know, it's amazing, though. I can understand all the reasons. You know, you miss it when you retire. You really do. But I'm sure Andy got a little tired of cutting the lawn and cleaning the pool, too, you know.
Yankees have scored twice here in the 3rd inning to tie it up. Andrew Jones takes a pitch outside. The count is 3-2. That is going to release Alex Rodriguez from third space with 3-2 and 2 outs. They didn't quite pay us that much, did they, Lou?
Boy, they didn't. No, they really didn't.
payoff pitch is on the way, and it's a curveball in there for call, strike 3. So Bedard does not go to the fastball. He gets Andrew Jones looking at a hook. It's 2-2. Sports Money takes a look at the formation of the Yes Network, including interviews with the Yankees president Randy Levine and the Yes Network president and CEO Tracy Dolgen. It's a new Forbes Sports Money, Thursday at 10, only on Yes. Now coming into pitch, a little early, but closers have a tendency to come into ball games early in spring training. Mariano Rivera, his numbers from a year ago, sparkling as usual, 44 saves and 49 attempts. 60 strikeouts and 61 in the third innings, only 8 base on balls.
Well, just amazing what a career Mariano's had. And to think that when he was a young guy growing up in Panama, he wasn't a pitcher.
He was a shortstop, right? Yeah. Well, Yankees already, they had Derek Jeter come along, so he made the right choice. Neil Walker, the cleanup hitter, will be the first batter to face Mariano here in the 4th inning. And he swings at dead cutter in on the hands and fouls it back. By the way, Michael Pineda, 3 innings, 2 runs, 3 hits, 5 strikeouts, all 5 coming in the last 2 innings, and then a walk. He struggled in the first inning, kind of rebounded in the second and the third.
Yeah, he made a nice adjustment, locating his fastball inside and got those strikeouts the last couple innings.
Another pitch fouled back. Lou, when you think of Mariano over his years with the Yankees, to me, he's been the most valuable player all these years. That no other managers know he's sitting out in the bullpen.
What a luxury. And when he was younger, he could give you 2 innings and still pitch the next day. So you had to beat the starter, and you went right to your closer in the 8th inning.
Back door, there it is, call strike 3. First 2 pitches were in, had Walker thinking inside, and here you go.
Well, we saw him on Saturday throw 8 pitches and 7 strikes. Here he throws 3 strikes in a row. A perfect one located on the outside corner, a little backdoor cutter.
And coming into the night, has not allowed an earned run in his last 24 spring training innings since March 15, 2008. Sort of like a preview of the season for all of baseball. There's a cutter to the outside corner for a called strike.
Boy, at one time he threw that cutter in on the hitter's hands, but now he can throw it away from the hitter, in on the hitter. He's just a magician.
Broken bat, little liner, and Teixeira hauls it in for out number 2. Looked like Teixeira, that might have gotten in the lights the way he went after it.
You know, Lou, I was talking to a reporter today about Mariano, and I said there's really probably hasn't been another pitcher who pays attention to the swings against him better than Mariano. And here, a little cutter in.
Ooh.
And you could see Mark Teixeira has a tough time with the lights, low lights here in spring training. But by that with Mariano, I mean, he throws a first pitch cutter away. He sees the hitter kind of lean out over the plate and says, all right, now he's wide open for a cutter inside.
And if he can get it at the belt, he's going to jam the hitter.
And no chance.
No chance.
Well, you saw what happened to Gary Jones. He's going to have to look for some new lumber next time up. Here's Rod Barajas, who fouled out his first time. And he takes a pitch. What is it? What else? Call strike.
You know, in talking to Mariano before the ball game, what he really wants to do is play center field. How about that one?
He probably could do it and do it well.
Well, you ever see him shag before the games? He can play center. Swing and a miss. Strike two. Looked like a little sinker.
Well, sinker at 93 miles an hour, so kind of letting it loose here in the fourth inning. And what new? Another strike, 7 in a row.
7 pitches, 7 strikes. 7 and 7. What was that?
Must have been wasting a pitch there, 0-2.
Okay. 8 pitches Saturday, 7 strikes. Same thing right here. He's going to have to go an extra pitch here tonight, though. Ball is popped up. Looks like it's going to be a 9-pitch outing. Who's calling for it? It's Nunez and Alex Rodriguez, and it's Rodriguez who makes the catch for the out. 1-2-3 inning for Mariano Rivera here at the top of the 4th. It's on to the bottom of the 4th inning. When we come back, Russell Martin will be leading up. Take the wheel of a new Hyundai at your local Hyundai dealer. Head to Wendy's and try one of our W Double Cheeseburgers. Dig into W today. And by BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Russell Martin's going to lead it off against Eric Bedard. Bottom of the 4th inning in a 2-2 game. The Yankees and the Pittsburgh Pirates under the lights here at Steinbrenner Field. Martin struck out looking his first time. It swings here, lines one to left field. Presley's not going to get it. Lagged off the wall and left. A solid 2-base hit for Russell Martin, getting it started here in the 4th. That was a rocket.
Yeah, Russell struck out his first at bat, and he did not waste any time here in his second. Aggressive with a first pitch fastball middle. Again, Russell dealing with a little groin problem the last couple of days. So he hits this ball a long way. The top of the wall, just missed a home run. But after Nick Swisher leaves this game, you're happy to see Russell Martin in the second base. Didn't look like he had any problems.
It's the 5th hit for the Yankees. It'll bring up Eduardo Nunez, who struck out swinging in the second inning. Nunez a little bit behind the other hitters. He'd been hit by a pitch and missed several games. And might have showed it right there. Swings and misses, strike one. Maybe trying to hit the ball to the right side.
You know, I really enjoyed situations like this in spring training because it forced me to hit the ball the other way. Try to hit a ground ball line drive the other way and get Martin to third base. Might get him back on track offensively after missing some time.
You stay inside the ball.
Nunez is a pretty good bunter too. And there is strike two as Bedard hits the inside corner.
Well, Phil Cuzzy, the umpire at home plate, has been a little generous.
You ever turn around and say something to umpire, Lou?
Once in a while.
The 0-2 pitch and slash foul. You know what? I got thrown out of a game for arguing balls and strikes.
Just once?
Yeah, just once. Earl Weaver couldn't get out there in time, and Earl said, "You know, he's right. He walks 100 times a year."
Earl liked to argue.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. You didn't?
Well, I'll tell you a little story about Earl, though, in a second.
We're talking about Earl Weaver, my former manager, and believe it or not, Lou Pinella's former manager in the minor league. Ball hit short, the shortstop. Barman's on the back end. This guy looks good at short. And there's one down.
Yeah, I was playing for Earl in Double-A, and I was struggling. And I'd never seen the slider before, John Kenny. I was hitting about 250, and the poor helmets were taking the brunt of the 250. So he calls me into his office one day, and he says, "Young man," he says, "you're never going to play in the big leagues." I said, "Well, why not?" He says, "You're too much of a, well, you got too much of a temper." And I said, "Earl, you're a heck of an example." I walked out of the office.
Here's a guy who got thrown out of 100 games in the big leagues. Here's Gardner, who had a bunt single, beautiful bunt single, and scored a run last inning. In fact, Earl used to give us a speech every spring, Lou, and the gist of his speech was, "You guys don't get thrown out of games." He says, "Let me do it."
Me do it.
He says, "Because I'm not the one who's going to hit the 3-run homer, and I'm not the one who's going to shut somebody out pitching." He says, "Let me do the argument," and he kind of took to it. He loved it.
And save yourself some money. The general manager's paying my fines.
Gardner splashes one to first, knocked down by Jones, and he steps on the bag for the out. 2 down. That one almost got by. See, that's what you were talking about. A little first baseman has to come in closer with Gardner at the plate.
Yeah, he had to cheat in a couple steps. Ball almost got by him at first base. He's had a little bit of problem over there tonight.
Well, he's played a lot of right field as well. He's not only a first baseman.
Trying to figure out why Russell Martin's still at second base. The ground ball to the right side. You advance to third base pretty easily.
Important to advance to third. The pitcher might bounce a curveball, a balk, an error.
Here's Granderson, who's had himself a good night tonight. He's got a double and a single and a run scored. Hit the ball well both times. Takes a call strike.
You know, but getting back to Earl, he really stressed winning at the Double-A level. Really made an impression.
I'll tell you, Lou, you didn't get to play for him in the big leagues, but he was quite a motivator. On a daily basis, he can make you play hard. And, of course, he could do a lot of yelling and screaming. But I thought he and Billy Martin were a lot alike.
They didn't like each other.
No, they didn't. I remember doing a game on TV game, and I went into Billy's office to talk to him before the game, get some information. And I said, "Billy, you know, you're a lot like Earl Weaver." And he looked at me straight in the eye and said, "No, he's like me." Here's the 0-1 pitch, and it's outside for a ball.
Well, I'll tell you what, they both had ego.
Yes, they did, but they were great managers. Here's Earl. One of his patented tricks.
You know, I enjoy watching this.
He's throwing umpires out.
There you go.
Usually we say that for when we're playing Baltimore, but count is 1-2 on Granderson. Now, you were known to, heat up a bit.
Once in a while.
Inside 2-2 to Granderson. But part of being a good ball player is having that inner fire to succeed. I mean, every day, baseball's an everyday game. You can either go home a winner or a loser on an everyday basis. And believe me, as Lou said earlier, it's a lot more fun being on winning ball clubs.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to lose than it is to win. I can tell you that.
Full count now on Granderson. Go ahead runs out at second with 2 outs. Russell Martin had a leadoff double. He's still there after a couple of ground outs. And plus, when you're on winning teams, you know every game means something. You don't get to the end of the season and you're just playing out the string. Here's the payoff pitch, and Granderson takes high. He's going to draw a walk. So he's on base for the 3rd time. He's getting into this leadoff role.
3 really good at bats, and he's got to be happy with that one right there, laying off a fastball up and in.
His improvement against left-handed pitching has been immeasurable. And it looks like we're going to get a new pitcher as Clint Hurdle comes out to the mound, and that means that Bedard has probably reached his pitch count. He hands the ball to his manager. So pitching change here at Steinbrenner Field. We're going to be back with the rest of the bottom of the 4th. The Yankees threatening.
Guys, come here, come here.
Two outs, 2 on for the Yankees here in the bottom of the 4th. Justin Maxwell at the plate. He took over for Nick Swisher, who appeared to re-injure a groin muscle, running to first base. And Maxwell takes a pitch for a ball. Ken Singleton with John Flaherty and Lou Piniella tonight. As usual, full house, beautiful night for baseball here in Florida, in Tampa. Maxwell, ball gets by the catcher. Barajas goes back to the screen, and the runners are going to advance.
And that's what we were talking about before.
Yeah.
Martin had been on third. He'd have scored on that ball.
So a wild pitch moves Martin to third and Granderson down to second.
Get another look at the pitch here from Reyes, and it looked like a slider down and in that Barajas just doesn't do a great job of getting down to block. See, the glove stayed up just a little bit. Spring training for him too, has a reputation of being a good blocker of the baseball.
Ball is fouled off by Maxwell. Maxwell has some tools. A young man from Frederick, Maryland. 16 home runs a year ago. Runs pretty well. Can play all 3 outfield positions.
Only 48 games. That's pretty impressive. 16 home runs.
He's a very athletic young man. His swing can get a little long at times. He was a ex-#1 draft pick also.
You know who he kind of reminds me of, the length and the batting style? Dave Winfield a little bit. Maybe not quite the tools that Winfield. Winfield was one of the best players ever.
Yeah, Winfield would have done some damage on that.
Yeah. Drafted by the Nationals. 3 major league seasons, all with Washington. 3-2 pitch, and he pops it foul and out of play. So Bedard gives way to JoJo Reyes.
Here's a chance for a young hitter to impress Joe Girardi.
Fouls another one back. Those 2-out hits are like gold.
Managers remember these young kids.
Yeah.
Spring training, they get the job done, help you win baseball games, good at bats.
You know, if somebody gets hurt later on in the season, that's one of the names you might throw out there. How's he doing down there? Can we bring him up?
No question.
Once again, the 3-2 pitch, and it is ball 4, and the bases are loaded. So Reyes walks the first man he faces, and it'll bring up Robinson Cano with the bases loaded. That makes managers move around in the dugout. Cano has hit the ball hard twice tonight, has nothing to show for it. Hit into a 6-4-3 double play, and then hit into a force play and hit another rocket for the first baseman. I think he's starting to come around. His bats are getting he's hitting the ball with more authority.
Well, the spring training goes a little further along, your concentration level increases also.
And we mentioned on Saturday the 3-run home run in the second inning, and this ball goes a long way. A 3-run shot. He got hit in the hand a couple of days later, and now returning. Like Kenny said, has hit 2 balls hard tonight, so the hand does not look like it's a problem.
Strike 2, another good pitch from Reyes. By the way, that home run left the stadium, over the bleachers and out of the ballpark. Even Robinson said, I hit that one pretty well. When you hit a long one, you never admit it was your best shot. So if somebody asks you if you got it all in the dugout, I said, nah, I could have hit it a little better.
Did you see it land?
Cano fouls this one off, and the count remains 0 balls and 2 strikes.
I didn't get it.
Martin at third, and Granderson at second. Still got a good number on his back, and Justin Maxwell at first. Bases loaded for the Yankees with 2 outs.
Boy, Robinson really hangs in well against left-hand pitching.
Low and away. A lot of lefties would have chased that one.
That's a tough pitch to lay off.
Then he had a better batting average against left-handers last year than right-handers.
We like these at bats too. I mean, getting hot at the right time, hitting the ball hard, and like you said, laying off of that tough slider down and away, Lou. Tells you he's seeing the ball well. Good things will happen.
Boy, that's really the secret. Seeing the ball well. And when you're hot, it looks like a watermelon. And when it doesn't, it looks like a ping pong ball.
How about those numbers with the bases loaded in the last season? 8 for 18, but a couple of doubles, a triple, and 3 more. 27 runs batted in 18 at bats.
That's like that Yogi doubleheader where he drove in 20 runs.
Count was 0-2. Now it's 3-2.
Yeah, Reyes has got to be saying, what do I have to do to get a swing and a miss? 3 pretty good pitches just off the plate. Most major league hitters would at least offer Robinson Cano not giving in.
He's in the upper echelon of major league hitters. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The runners will be going. Here's your payoff pitch. And it's low and outside, ball 4. 1 in at bat for Robinson Cano. The Yankees take the lead on the bases loaded walk as Russell Martin ends up scoring.
You know, and I think back to Robinson Cano when he first came up to the major leagues. I never would have saw an at bat like this. If he got 0-2, he was swinging at whatever you threw up there. The ability to take 4 sliders off the plate and not offer, that just tells you how he has matured as a hitter.
No substitute for experience.
Yeah.
That run is charged to Eric Bedard, and it brings up Alex Rodriguez with the bases loaded, who has not been retired tonight. He's walked and singled. And that pitch, maybe a sinker or changeup, low for ball 1.
I'm thinking about Barajas behind the plate. You know, you got a pitcher out there who's made good pitches and has nothing to show for it. And now Alex comes up. Sometimes you get him at a weak moment mentally where he makes a mistake, and Alex will make him pay.
You know what's going on. Hey, son, I know you.
Yeah, interesting this year. Alex Rodriguez going to be protecting Robinson Cano a little bit, Lou. A little different dynamic in the lineup.
Yeah, Joe's going to try it. Well, right now, Cano's as good a hitter as the Yankees have.
Yep.
You want your 2, 3, 4 hitters to get those extra at bats every game. So, and in Yankee Stadium with that short right field porch.
That's a visit from the pitching coach, Ray Searage.
What's really good is when the manager has a few options. And the Yankees have a few options.
Ray is going to have to throw a strike sooner or later. He does, and it's hit hard and through the hole in the left field for a base hit. Granderson scores. Here comes Maxwell. He scores, and the Yankees now lead 5-2.
Well, what you like about these at-bats are all happening with 2 outs here. Robinson Cano, a great at-bat, a base on balls, and then Alex Rodriguez with 2 outs. Making the other pitcher earn it. You have to finish off the inning. Nice base hit into left field. Going to score a couple. And Alex having himself a pretty good evening.
2 for 2 with a walk and 3 runs batted in. Here's Mark Teixeira. Teixeira's grounded to short, flied to center, looking for his first hit of the evening. He's got Cano at second and Rodriguez at first. And that is in there for a call strike.
And looking at it from the Pittsburgh side, the least thing you want to do is have your relief pitcher walk 2 hitters to face the middle part of your lineup.
Inside for a ball. 4 of the 5 runs charged to Bedard. When Maxwell crossed home plate, that run was charged to Reyes.
You see the look on Clint Hurdle's face, mumbling a little bit to himself. I mean, the Yankees are going to make you earn it. You have to finish off, make pitches, finish off innings.
Ball's hit towards the middle, and that's going to get into center field for a base hit. Cano's rounding third. He will score, and the Yankees now with a 4-run lead at 6-2. And the Yankees have batted around here in the 4th inning.
Well, Mark had a pretty good at bat. His last at bat, driving a ball to deep center field. Here just takes a little cutter right back up the middle. I like the approach, pretty simple from the right side. And again, a nice job with 2 outs.
Didn't try to pull that pitch. Laced it right up the middle.
Let's see if Andrew Jones can keep it going here. Here's the 9th Yankee at the bat here in the 4th inning. They have scored 4 times. Swing and a miss for strike 1.
He likes that first pitch. Ball still jumps off his bat pretty good.
It does.
Trying to think of where he hit that really long home run last year. I think it was at Yankee Stadium. That pitch is strike 2, 0-2. He cranked one up in the bleachers in left center field one afternoon. It sounded like a cannon going off when he hit it. Inside for a ball. How do you like, if you're 19 years old, you're playing in the World Series, and your first 2 times up in the World Series you hit home runs? It was back in 1996 against the Yankees. Of course, the Yankees went on to win that World Series. And I believe the pitcher was Andy Pettit. I tried to swing that hard now, I'd have to find a chiropractor somewhere.
It's a nice luxury here with Joe Girardi, though, to get Jones a few at-bats against left-handers. Usually that's where he's going to be in the lineup during the season. Faced Bedard twice and now gets a shot at Reyes.
Curve hangs high. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Reyes has struggled since coming out of the bullpen. 2 walks and 2 singles and 2 runs. Foul tipped at the plate. The at bat will continue. I'm watching this inning unfold, and this is what the Yankees are capable of doing to you, keeping innings going. Year in, year out, they usually among the league leaders in batting around. Ball is fouled off. Let's go back to 1996 and a much younger Andruw Jones. First one was off Andy Pettitte.
Ryan Bowringer, the second one.
It wasn't even shaven yet. 2-2 pitch. Ball.
He's had a really, really nice major league career. Solid. He's an all-star center fielder.
10 Gold Gloves, Lou.
How about that?
10 in a row. And coming into this year, he's got 420 home runs. Right now, he's getting the 3-2 pitch, and runners will be off and moving. There they go. Pitch is foul at the plate. We'll do it all over again. That one stung a bit. You can see Andruw Jones walking around the home plate area. I hated doing that in April when it was up north. It was cold. My goodness. 16 seasons. Atlanta, the Dodgers, Texas, the White Sox, and now the Yankees. 10 straight Gold Gloves, 5-time All-Star, National League MVP runner-up with 51 homers and 128 runs batted in 2005 with the Braves. Ball's hit hard and by the third baseman Alvarez. Alex Rodriguez will score easily. Teixeira's going to be held at third, and Andruw Jones, with a lengthy at bat, keeps the inning going with a double. And now the Yankees lead 7-2.
Well, a really nice at bat when you foul off the tough pitches. You foul off the tough pitches, and you finally get one to hit, and you drill it down the left field line. Rolling over on that front foot, and it goes off the glove of Alvarez, laying out to his right. And a common theme this inning, 2-out hitting.
And Reyes did not record it out while he was in there, and now he is out of the ball game. 7-2 Yankees. We'll be back in just a moment. For the Pittsburgh Pirates is Chiron Martis. And he's going to face Russell Martin, who started this inning off with a double and now bats for the second time. Martin doubled and scored. Harrisburg Double-A last year.
More than a strikeout an inning.
That'll get you to the big league camp. And Martin swings at the first pitch and lifts a high fly ball twisting towards the Yankee bullpen and out of play. Strike one.
Well, the one good thing when veteran pitchers struggle a little bit, it gives a young guy a chance to pitch that probably wasn't scheduled to pitch.
He gets to pitch against some legitimate major league hitters. Russell Martin will be the first one.
Yankees have scored 5 times here in the 4th inning, all with 2 outs. Martin, a little chopper, going to be a tough play. Alvarez coming on, gloves it, throws it just in time to get Martin. So Russell, who started the inning with a double, ends it by grounding out to third. But meanwhile, the Yankees now lead 7-2. Pirates 7-2, top of the 5th inning. Of course, now it's time during spring training to talk to the manager. And Joe Girardi, kind enough to be with us once again. And Joe, looks like things came along for you the last inning.
Yeah, it's nice to see us put a big inning together. And it's nice to get all our guys playing together. I mean, we really haven't had that in the spring. I divide them up. The infielders one day, the outfielders the next, and after an off day, and we're getting 2.5 weeks to go, we got pretty much everyone in there.
Yeah, I guess everybody's concerned. We saw Nick Swisher come out of the ball game. What can you tell us about it?
It's actually the other hip flexor that tightened up. He said he didn't feel a pull, very similar to the last one. You know, he just felt it get tight, and he just thought it was best to come out. I saw him kind of stretch a little bit, and then it was a red flag for me.
Yeah, we're just looking at a replay of it right now. Good news that it didn't pull, just a little twinge in there.
Yeah, and you hope, maybe it's 4 or 5 days. We'll see what it is. We'll give it the proper time, and we still got plenty of time to get ready.
Pedro Alvarez is going to lead it off against the Yankees' new pitcher Boone Logan, coming in relief of Mariano Rivera. I guess we'll talk about the pitching. Why don't we start with Mariano, Joe?
What is there to talk about?
He wasn't in there very long.
No, and he threw a lot of strikes and got quick outs. I mean, it's been his MO for the last 15, 16 years. So he just doesn't like to give up runs.
Well, let's move on along to Pineda then. He struggled early and sort of rebounded in the next 2 innings, but that pitch count got up.
Yeah, he got up to 71, 72, and 75 was his limit. And you want him to go deeper, but he had such a tough first inning that we thought, we're not going to push it too much. You're right. I thought he found it the last 2 innings. I thought his command of his fastball got pretty good. He was getting ahead of hitters and staying out of some long counts.
Joe, he started pitching inside.
Yes. I mean, that is so important for a pitching staff to do. I mean, hitters need to be uncomfortable. I mean, that's the bottom line. And when they can hang out over the plate, they're going to foul those tough pitches off. And eventually you're going to make a mistake. I mean, you're only human. So I have always thought the more feet that you move, the more pitches you get away with.
You know, Joe, everybody's been talking about velocity with Pineda. I mean, what did you think about that tonight?
Oh, I thought it was better, and he gave up 2 runs. So, as I said, velocity doesn't mean anything if you don't get people out. It only means something when you're watching them on the side. The bottom line is you have to get outs, and he's done that pretty much in spring training for us.
Yeah, probably his worst pitch was the breaking ball, the curveball that he hung to McCutchen.
Yeah, and he's got a good slider. I mean, he's got a put away slider, and we've seen a lot of development out of his changeup, which makes us feel pretty good about the direction that he's going.
You know, Joe, you mentioned the slider, and this is the first time I've seen him live. He's not afraid to throw at 3 and 2 counts either. It shows you the confidence he has.
He has command of it, and he feels good about it. And he'll throw it any time, right-hander, left-hander. It does not matter. Ouch, I used to hate those those foul tips.
It's a lot easier up here, buddy.
Yeah, don't you feel a lot better physically? It's amazing. And then you think, well, maybe I can play again. No,
thank you.
Speaking of playing again, Andy Pettit in camp.
Yeah, he threw a side today. He threw well. He threw his normal side, and I think he threw about 15 pitches like the hitters. Not the live hitters, but someone standing in there, and he feels good. And saw him in the weight room getting loose and doing all the things he does before he pitches, and it was good to see.
Ground ball to first, and a great stop by Teixeira, but we've said that many times before. There's one down.
Joe, what is he going to do? Throw a few bullpen sessions and then face some live hitters?
Yeah, I think he's going to have another bullpen, and we'll look at where he's at. You know, we feel he's doing okay because of all the bullpens he threw at home. They really liked his bullpen today, and then we'll either put him in a simulated game or live BP. The only difference is in live BP, you just tell him what's coming. That's the only difference, and you don't have strikes and balls. So, I mean, if everything goes well, his next bullpen, I would think we'd get somewhat close to that.
Here's Clint Barmas, the shortstop. Now, Joe, we all know how competitive Andy Pettit is. How hard is it going to be for you and your staff to kind of back him off, tell him to take his time and get ready?
Well, it might be better that we don't see him, because he'd probably be in our ear every day, you know, when we break camp. But I think you have to give him a regular spring training, and you give him, you know, 2 innings. There's a little jam shot. Wow. I mean, that looked like one of those little knockdown wedges. You give him, you know, he goes 2 innings, 35 pitches, and then you move it up to 3 innings, 40, and you got to stick to the plan. If you have the ability to stick to the plan and everyone's healthy, I think you have to stick to it, and that's how you get him ready.
Let me ask you about the competition that's going to forced on the rest of the staff.
You know, I've reiterated, if you don't want someone to take your job, go out and do your job. That's the bottom line. And if you're paying attention to what people are doing besides yourself, you're focusing on the wrong thing. Be the best you can be, and then we'll see where everything falls.
With 2 left-handers in Yankee Stadium.
Yeah. I mean, that's something that you like to have, just because of our park. Plays much bigger for right-handed hitters than it does left-handed hitters. So it's always been good when you have a couple lefties in that rotation.
Here's a base hit for Barmas. You know how Lou asked that question? He asked it from experience.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. But Lou also liked to hit left-handers, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But Lou knows how that park plays. I mean, he played there, he managed there. I mean, he knows it all. So he managed against them, and it's, you know, if you can turn some hitters around or put more right-handers in a lineup, I think a lot of times it's better.
We're going to have a pinch hitter here. It's going to be Jake Fox, who last year was with the Baltimore for a while. In fact, Joe, last spring, Jake Fox hit 9 home runs, led Major League Baseball in home runs in the spring.
And I think he's hit a couple lately here. And they've talked about, you know, maybe a pinch hitter off the bench for them. So it is a guy that can hit the ball at the ballpark, that's for sure.
I had him with the Cubs.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, he can turn a fastball around. There's no question.
Yeah, I mean, I think the hard part for Jake is, you know, he's caught some, he's played the outfield some, he's played the infield some. He's never really had one position, but he can swing the bat a little bit.
You know, he liked me so much, he's wearing my number.
Yeah.
There's a pitch in there for a called strike. Now, Joe, we kind of had a surprise here tonight. About 5 or 6 rows just in front of the booth, we have the women's softball team from Northwestern University.
Yeah. They played a doubleheader today here in Clearwater. They won a doubleheader. They're off tomorrow, and I think they open up the Big Ten season Thursday or Friday in Nebraska. So me and Jabba will have a little thing going. I made sure I called Jabba when Northwestern went and beat them in Nebraska in football this year. So we'll see if I can continue the call in Jamba.
Now, how did you feel seeing those school colors once again?
It's great. I'm really proud of that university and what they stand for and what the student athlete stands for. So it was good to see them. And they were on a good note today. They won a doubleheader, so the coach said they were going to get a day off tomorrow.
Wow. Day off in Florida. That could be dangerous for any team.
Yeah, it could be a little sunburn going around.
Now, how about Boone Logan thus far as we watch him?
He's throwing the ball pretty well. I've been pleased with where he's at right now. And Boone is a guy that sometimes in spring training goes through a little dead arm. This is about the time he does it. So we'll watch him here carefully in the next few outings. But I'm happy with where he's at.
16 pitches thus far for Boone Logan. 3-2 count with 1 out and 1 on. Joe, now you got that. You're sitting next to the dugout. Can you tell as well as you're catching a pitcher, when you're actually catching him, can you tell what's going on from the sides there?
No, I can't. I always thought catching was a feeling. You know, you had a feeling. Can he make this pitch at this time?
Yeah.
I know what the right pitch is, but can he make it? You know, how's the hitter react to him? Is the ball getting on the hitters quickly? Is his breaking ball as sharp? I mean, it's easy to sit here and call a game. It really is. But you're assuming they're going to execute every pitch that you call perfectly. So I've never really gotten into that. I don't, you know, for me, I don't believe on getting on catchers about pitch selection a whole lot. They have a plan. They know what the plan is.
Great stop by Teixeira. This could be 2. To Nunez on the first. A perfect 3-6-3 double play. Joe, thanks for being with us. What a way to end it in.
Yes, it sure was. Have a good night.
Thank you, guys. All right, we're headed to the bottom of the 5th inning. Yankees leading 7-2. What a play. Leading 7-2. It's time to go down near the Yankee clubhouse as you look at the Audi scoreboard. 7-2 Yankees, and Jack Curry standing by with Michael Pineda.
Thanks a lot, Kenny. Now, Michael, 3 innings tonight, gave up 2 runs, struck out 5. How did you think you pitched?
Oh, I'm thinking I'm pitching good last night, you know.
Now, the first inning, 39 pitches. Did you make an adjustment after the first?
Oh, yeah, an adjustment after the first inning. Yeah, because my left shoulder is open a little bit, you know.
And when your shoulder opens like that, what does that do to you? Not any command or control of the pitches?
Yeah, I know. My fastball is a little quarter, and my slider too. Yeah.
It seemed like in the last 2 innings you pitched that the fastball was a lot better.
Yeah, it's much better last inning because an adjustment a little bit, you know, step back a little bit and throw my fastball, you know.
A lot of talk about your velocity. You hit 94 tonight. Did the ball feel better coming out of your hand than it has in other starts in spring training?
Yeah. Tonight I feel much better, you know. I feel ready to go. So, yeah, I'm very good tonight.
You have 2 more starts before opening day. Anything else that you need to do for yourself to get prepared for the season to start?
Yeah, you know, so I have my routine so now to the off season. So I feel very good, and I this one ready, you know.
And you said before you're pretty excited that Andy Pettitte is your teammate now, huh?
Yeah, I know, because it's very good pitcher, you know, and I want to learn from him.
Excellent. Michael, thanks for joining us. Kenny, back to you.
Thank you very much. The ball breaks off the glove of Barajas, and Eduardo Nunez is going to move down to second. Nunez had led off with a solid single to center field. So Jack Curry with Michael Pineda, who said he felt good the last couple of innings, and it kind of showed.
Well, he kept his shoulder closed, and he started to drive that ball. Picked up a little velocity and was able to locate it, especially on the inner half of the plate.
Let's see what Gardner's thinking here. Want to know the count with Nunez at second. Got a new pitcher in the game for the Pittsburgh Pirates. That pitch is a called strike. It's Ryota Igarashi. Igarashi now pitching for Pittsburgh.
He pitched a little bit the last couple of years with the Mets and minor leagues and the big leagues. See the numbers for Brett Gardner, 179 coming into this at bat. Lou, he's got a pretty good number on the back of his jersey.
Was it a big one? I haven't seen it.
17.
Oh boy, there you go.
Yeah.
Mickey Rivers.
Mick the Quick.
I'll tell you what, with the Yankees, the way they retired the numbers, you certainly aren't getting any low numbers, that's for sure. That's what the Mets last year for Igarashi.
A lot of walks in 38 innings.
Yeah.
Innings pitched.
That'll drive a manager crazy. You're not helping yourself by putting men on base. Gardner rips one foul down the first base side.
I wonder if Terry Collins had the luxury of having an interpreter. You know, one time I had 3 Japanese players in Seattle. I had the closer Sasaki. I had Hasegawa, which is a setup.
Yeah.
And then obviously Ichiro in the outfield.
Ichiro's outlasted the other 2. Still going strong.
What a great career he's had.
Oh my goodness, can he hit? He's going to bat third this year, Lou.
Yeah, I don't really like that idea, but I look at their win-loss record in spring training. It's pretty good. We'll see how it works during the season.
Gardner chops another one foul.
But he's certainly not your prototype third hitter.
No.
Well, I have to ask you, when you first saw that swing, and I guess more importantly the stride, how he drifts out towards the pitcher, I didn't think there was any way he could hit at the major league level with a stride like that.
Well, I'll tell you a funny story. I watched him the first 3 or 4 games in Arizona that first spring that he was with our baseball team, and all he did was hit the ball by the third baseman and down the left field line. So I finally asked the interpreter, I said, did you talk to Ichiro? See if he can pull the ball. I just want to see it one time. So they're both talking on the end of the dugout. The interpreter comes up to me and says, next time. So an inning later, Ichiro leads off, hits the ball into the bullpen over the fence in right field. He comes around the bases, steps into the dugout. He says, happy now? I said, yeah, that's it. That's it. I don't want to see it anymore.
Happy.
That's exactly what he said. Happy now? Yeah, very happy.
Gardner called out on strikes. Well, he might have to do that a few more times batting third this year for the Seattle Mariners. And if you ever watch him in batting practice, he hits a lot of shots into the seats.
No question.
Go ahead, Lou.
No, I'm sorry. He can. He can really, in batting practice, put on a nice power show.
Speaking of a power show, 41 home runs last year for Granderson. He's had himself a good night. A double, a single, a walk, and 2 runs scored. Igarashi deals him a strike.
Boy, we're getting a lot of good Japanese pitchers in the Major League Baseball.
I can't wait to see Yu Darvish from the Texas Rangers. He's the one who got all the cash.
Read a lot of nice things about him. I was talking to a few scouts here prior to the game, and they really like this young guy.
He's got about, I heard he had about 10 pitches. He's going to have to pare that down. Catchers don't have that many fingers. Well, they do, but, one's covered up with a glove.
I want to see how his fastball is going to play in the big leagues, because the velocity is not going to be a problem. But the highlights I've seen, it's straight as a string.
Swing and a miss by Granderson. Might have chased a bad pitch.
You guys know if you don't have a little movement or a fastball in the upper 90s, that's going to be a rough way to make a living.
Especially in that ballpark in Arlington.
Yep.
Well, the Yankees actually traveled to Arlington in the early going of the season, which is a good thing because it's not really hot yet. That pitch is high for a ball.
Now, John, when a pitcher's got 10 pitches, what do you do as a catcher?
You narrow it down to the best 4 and then go with it. See what he has on that particular day, especially in the bullpen when you get down there early to catch him. And hopefully he's going to move the ball a little bit with his fastball and have a little movement.
Granderson takes another pitch outside, and the counters. We've had a lot of full counts tonight. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Granderson used to be a leadoff hitter when he was with the Detroit Tigers, and a pretty good one. Three-two pitches, pop foul, and out of play. That might get on the roof and out of here. Yep.
I'll tell you, Kenny and John, there's a big difference spring training in Arizona as opposed to Florida.
I'd never trained in Arizona. Never.
You'd like it as a hitter.
Thin air.
Thin air, big ballparks, hard infields. Ball doesn't break very well from leaving the pitcher's hand.
Wait a second. I had my best spring of my career the 1 year in Arizona. You're telling me the ball didn't break? I thought I was just locked in.
Granderson draws a walk. He's on for the 4th time. Well, speaking of Ichiro, here's some footage with him against the Yankees. He was listening to Lou Piniella right there. Not once, but twice.
Actually, at Safeco Field, the ball carries much better to right field than it does anywhere else at in the ballpark.
I remember the first time, not the first time, but one of the times we went out. Remember, Flash? We were talking to Ken Griffey Jr. He said, "Don't hit the ball in the left center. Yeah. It's not going to go out."
The air is very heavy.
And Safeco was not the Kingdom, which I thought was the world's greatest hitting ballpark. Swing and a miss by Justin Maxwell. Maxwell took over for Nick Swisher. You heard Joe Girardi. If you missed his interview in the top half of the inning, it was not the original groin injury that Swisher had. It's another one now. He'll be out for a few days. Turn, no throw to second. Nunez dives back.
Well, Lou, you were talking about talking to some scouts, and I was actually talking to a Seattle scout today with Pineda pitching. Asked them what they thought of Montero out there, and they've been very, very pleasantly surprised with what he's done behind the plate, catching and throwing. Hitting hasn't come around yet this spring, but they've been very pleased with him behind the plate.
Maxwell fouls one off. Speaking of scouts, one of the smartest scouts ever is here tonight. Phil Rossi. Who's he scouting with now, Flash?
He's with the Miami Marlins.
Okay, but originally he was with the Boston Red Sox, and he's the one who signed John Flaherty.
How about that?
Yeah.
One of the smartest guys
that
in
takes
baseball.
talent.
The man still has a job.
But you know what's funny? I was drafted in the 25th round, and he brags to everybody. I got him in the 25th round, which scouts take a lot of pride in. It's not a high round draft pick, and was able to trick him for a few years.
He probably said, "Well, I don't have much money to give."
Oh, I heard that plenty of times. I appreciate Phil for giving me my opportunity.
There's more radar guns in that section than the Florida State Troopers have in the state. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Justin Maxwell. He laid off a tough slider there.
You know what's amazing is that usually on these scoreboards they post the velocity of the pitch.
Maxwell spoils another one. The count holds at 2-2.
I think I'd be too lazy to carry that thing around.
And then you have to charge him when you finish with him.
Like your cell phone.
Yeah. I'm supposed to remind you, Lou, you left your cell phone back towards the back of the booth here.
I won't forget.
Okay. Two on, one out for the Yankees. They lead 7-2 here in the bottom of the fifth inning. A 5-run fourth inning for the Yankees. Good stop by Barajas.
He's been getting a workout back there, John.
He has. He'd be disappointed in one of the balls in the dirt that he let get by, but this is textbook here. Looks like a curveball down and away. Glove goes first, body follows. Nice play. He's going to help this team. You know, we talked about a little bit of power behind the plate. Does a nice job with the pitching staff. Veteran influence.
Runners don't go, and this one is ripped to the gap in left center field. Nunez will score easily. Granderson being waved home. He's going to score all the way from first. A solid double by Justin Maxwell, and it's now 9-2 Yankees.
And Maxwell entered the game for Nick Swisher with that hip flexor problem. Walked his first at bat and then gets a little slider up out over the plate. He's fouled off some fastballs and finally gets a mistake and takes advantage. Drills it to the gap in left center, goes all the way to the wall. Well, just to the warning track. Couple of runs score.
Yankees now with 10 hits in the game. And here comes Ray Searage, the pitching coach, out to the mound. Second time we've seen him tonight. He's going to talk to Igarashi here, who has picked up one out but has given up a single, a walk, and now a double. Let's go back to 2009. Another look back. I remember this. It's kind of a shocker. That was off Mariano Rivera, and it was a game-winning home run.
Wow. Maybe that's why Eric Wedge wants to put him in the 3-hole.
That was 2 outs in the 9th inning.
You know, catching behind Ichiro, you always had it in the back of your mind he might try to ambush you inside. You had to be careful when you go in.
I think that situation dictated he might take one shot. Cano hits it to left, hits it hard, but it's Presley who makes the catch for out number 2.
You know, and especially to a hitter like Ichiro that bails. He keeps his upper body in, but he bails with his lower body, and it's much easier for him to clear his hips.
So Cano makes the out, and once again, he hits the ball hard.
Yeah, I'm watching him walk in the dugout, and he's getting some congratulations in there. He's 0 for 3 with a walk, and he's hit the ball hard all night. And in my opinion, he's had 4 good at-bats. Nothing to show for it.
4 good at-bats. He has an RBI with the bases loaded walk. And, you know, you hear that old staple in the dugout, hang with him. I don't want to hear that.
I'd rather blip one over first.
Yeah, right? I can get another bat. Swing and a miss by Alex Rodriguez, who's had himself a good night. A walk, a couple of singles, a run scored, and 3 runs batted in for the Yankee cleanup hitter.
One thing as a hitter, when you're seeing it good and you're hitting it hard, base hits will come.
Alex hitting .346 now with the 2-for-2 night. Good swing at that one. Fouled it straight back.
Well, I'm laughing. I saw Tino Martinez out on the field today working with the guys, and I made a mistake in 05. The only time I got to play with him, Lou, and I say, hey, way to swing it, man. You're right. That was the last thing he wanted to hear. He went off on me.
What do you mean good?
Right. I don't want to swing it good. I want hits.
That's it.
Oh, 2 on Alex Rodriguez. Maxwell at second with 2 outs. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Alex Rodriguez retired for the first time tonight, but the Yankees do pick up 2 more runs here in the 5th.
Individual game tickets for the 2012 season at Yankee Stadium go on sale as part of a pre-on sale exclusively for MasterCard cardholders starting Thursday, March 22nd at 10 a.m. and continuing through Sunday, March 25th at 10 p.m. To use your MasterCard to purchase tickets beginning March 22nd, visit yankees.com/priceless or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. Wow, that's a read right there.
All with one breath, too. That's impressive. Top of the order for the Pirates here in the 6th inning. Presley takes a pitch inside from the new pitcher for the Yankees, Corey Wade. Presley, Tabata, and McCutchen for the Pirates here in the 6th. Last year, 40 appearances for the Yankees. Opponent's batting average, .221. Sports an excellent changeup, Lou.
Really good changeup. Excellent motion with his changeup. Did a really nice job for the Yankees last year.
Yeah, 2.04. He'll take the same thing this year. Ball's lined towards center field. Coming on is Granderson. He's there and makes the catch, one out. So Presley is retired.
When I watch Corey Wade pitch, there are a lot of young pitchers out there. If you watch him, you can find a way to get hitters out where you don't have to throw 95 miles an hour. A little deception like you talked about, a good changeup, location.
Little movement.
Yeah.
Being able to throw your off-speed pitches behind in the count.
How about this too, Lou? I mean, you would appreciate this as a former manager. You know he's going to come in out of the pen and throw strikes. It's got to be a lot of confidence when you bring him in a tight ball game.
No question.
Tabata is singled and scored, had a stolen base, and was caught looking. And right now he's in the hole, no balls and 2 strikes.
Pitches well to both sides of the plate. Good-looking young pitcher.
And every once in a while in these situations, he will drop down on a right-handed hitter just to make his life a little bit more miserable. This ball is lined into left field for a base hit. Hung that one. And Tabata has his 2nd hit of the game. Well, as I was looking up the Pirates today, I noticed that a lot of players on their team had one thing in common. As you can see the headline, trying to make a McDifference. You have an Andrew McCutchen, a Daniel McCutchen, a James McDonald, Casey McGahee, Michael McHenry, Nate McLeod, and Kyle McPherson.
You know what that tells me? They had a team party Saturday night for St. Patrick's Day. Those Mets. Is that a good night?
Outfielder, 2 right-handed pitchers, an infielder, a catcher, an outfielder, and a right-handed pitcher. And here's McCutchen, Andrew McCutchen. And he hits this one well to right center field, and Granderson on the runs, going to cut it off to hold it to a single. But Tabata is on his way to 3rd, and McCutchen has his 2nd hit of the ball game.
You think back to the home run in the 1st inning for McCutchen. He used his hands so well, and he follows it up this at bat. Sign of a really good hitter when the hands work the way they do, driving the ball the other way. You don't see a lot of body in his swing. When I watch him swing, the hands really jump out to him.
Good player, good all-around player.
Stayed nice and close. Just drove that ball to right center field.
You can see that Eric Chavez is taking over at first base for Mark Teixeira. This brings up Garrett Jones, the first baseman, who's walked and hit a soft liner to Teixeira. So he's 0 for 1 tonight. 1st and 3rd, 1 out for the Pirates. And this ball's lined into center field for a base hit, and they're going to score a run. Tabata scores. McCutchen stops at 2nd. 3 straight singles for the Pittsburgh Pirates. All hit well. And it's now a 9-3 game.
And Corey Wade has thrown a few curveballs today, and he has not had a good one in this inning. You see the reaction. Not happy about that. Some days you just don't have one of your better pitches. It looks like the curveball a little bit behind here in this outing.
Yeah, he's left a couple breaking balls up in the zone.
Pirates now have 7 hits, 3 this inning. By the way, that was Neil Walker who got the hit. This is Garrett Jones. Spring training for us up here too. Jones has walked, then lined out. Walker now is 2 for 3 with a run batted in. Good changeup. Swing and a miss. Ball in his, make it 0-2. Scoreboard has 0-2. We have 1-1. We'll see who's right in just a second. Change up again. He's out of there. Back-to-back change-ups.
You know, major league pitchers get loose in the pen. You figure out what kind of stuff you have. The changeup, obviously, a little bit ahead of the curveball here in this inning for Corey Wade.
Lou, I faced some pitchers with some good changeups. I'm thinking Andy Messerschmidt had a good one.
How about Scotty McGregor that you had over at Baltimore?
Well, I didn't have to hit against Scotty. You guys did, though.
Andy was nasty. He had a great slider, a fastball that moved, and then that changeup that was really a strikeout pitch for him.
Rod Barajas, the catcher, steps in. 0 for 2. So McGregor's changeup was that good, huh?
Really good.
He threw across his body, too. A little deception.
He was worth 1 or 2 helmets a year.
You know who really couldn't hit? Reggie couldn't hit him.
I'll tell you, he threw across his body, and he didn't take a long stride, and he had perfect arm motion on the off-speed pitch.
Pitches popped up into foul territory. No play for Russell Martin or Alex Rodriguez.
Mike Cuellar. Yeah. Well, he had the screwball.
Yeah,
The spaceman, Bill Lee, up in Boston, had a good changeup.
Yeah, these are all. Well, you mentioned 3 left-handers right there, McGregor.
Why is it that left-handers have good changeups?
Because they're facing good right-handed hitters like you. They got to try to figure out a way to get them out. Swing and a miss. There's a good curveball, and Wade gets out of it. After giving up 3 straight singles, he bounces back with 2 strikeouts. 9-3 Yankees. Going to the bottom of the 6th, let's check out the Mazda upcoming schedule. The Yankees have some road trips coming up. After tonight's ball game, they head down to Port Charlotte, take on Tampa Bay. Then on Thursday night on Yes, we'll be back 7:05 down at Fort Myers. Road trip. Then in their very next afternoon, right back here at Steinbrenner Field on Yes, the Yankees take on the Minnesota Twins. Play Detroit and Lakeland, and then on Sunday afternoon they play the Tigers on Yes, right here at Steinbrenner Field. Clint Hurdle's made several changes defensively. We'll catch you up. There's a new pitcher in the ball game. And that would be Daniel McCutchen. As Eric Chavez swings at the first pitch and fouls it off. So McCutchen now doing the pitching. Yeah, but I also think McCutchen is out of the ball game at center. So look like an off-speed pitch down and away to Eric Chavez. It took over from Mark Teixeira. Teixeira hit the ball well a couple of times. He had a single and a run batted in the fourth, lined out the center, and then grounded to short. Ball is looped towards left field. Coming on as a left fielder. He's there and makes the catch for out number one. It's a new left fielder, too. Left fielder is Brandon Boggs. So Boggs is in center.
It's fun for these young players to get in ball games. In fact, they look forward to playing.
Here's Jones. And the slider's down the way for ball one. Boggs is in center, I should say.
I remember when I was a young player, Kenny, the worst thing was go on these road trips in spring training and not get in the ball game. And then you had to go run after the ball game.
Swing and foul back by Andrew Jones. Yeah, I think the whole situation there, you're looking forward to that one at bat. You know you're not going to get many. And I remember being in that situation too. Just getting that one AB and trying to make the most of it. Jones tonight has a double in 3 at bats, and he swings and misses here, and it's ball and 2 strikes.
You know, and that's why when I became a major league manager, I remembered those experiences. Disappointments. So I tried to play everybody.
You ride the bus, you get in the game.
You get in the game. And you take less people if you have to. But you make sure that you get people in the ball game.
Andrew Jones strikes out for out number 2.
And then, Kenny, the worst thing is you cut a young man on the first cut and he tells you, I didn't get any at bats. I didn't pitch any innings. I mean, you really, really feel terrible.
Here's the defense as it sets up now with the substitutions for the Pirates. Boggs in left, Rojas in center, Navarro in right, Alvarez still at third, Mercer at short, Harrison at second, Haig at first. And a new catcher is Fryer.
Lou, I was just thinking to myself, it's got to be tough for a manager when you bring in, say, a veteran non-roster player who's got an opportunity to make the team. And if you just bring him in late in ball games, he's got a tough time showing what he can do. You got to give him some starts, but you also have to take care of your regulars.
No question. Your regulars should get 50, 60 at bats if they stay healthy. Your starting pitchers will pitch you 25 innings. Your relievers get their work. You got to make sure that, except Mariano, you get back-to-back days. And you're right. The veteran player that you bring to camp, whether he's a specialty player or a substitute or whatever, he's got to play. You got to give him a chance.
Pitch is fouled to the plate by Russell Martin.
Some players have better springs, and others it takes a little longer.
You know, I think about a Billy Hall here in camp with the Yankees, a veteran player who's had a nice career. You know, he needs some opportunities, and it's a tough balance, I'm sure, for a manager.
Russell Martin, a one hopper to short for Jordy Mercer, who throws on the first to Matt Haig for the out. The Yankees go quietly 1-2-3 for only the second time tonight. Scoreboard, it's 9-3 Yankees as we go to the top half of the 7th inning here at Steinbrenner Field. The Yankees have shifted things around defensively. They also have a new pitcher in the ball game. You have Bill Hall in left field. Justin Maxwell has moved from right to center. Colin Curtis is now in right field. Jason Nix at third. Doug Bernier at short. Ramiro Pena at second. Eric Chavez was in the ball game. He's still at first. And Francisco Cervelli is now doing the catching for Juan Cedeno, the left-hander who's come in out of the bullpen. And here's a lefty. If you show anything in the Independent League a year ago, 65 strikeouts in 43 innings in independent baseball. Here's Pedro Alvarez, who is 0 for 2. And he checks his swing and pitches high for a ball.
Larry's been trying to work with Cedeno on changing his throwing motion a little bit to make him a little tougher for left-hand hitters to see.
High in the air to center field and fairly deep. Maxwell going back. He turns now and will make the catch. The wind is blowing in from center. Here's one down. Well, basketball fans, tomorrow night the Nets wrap up their homestand in Newark with a matchup against John Wall and the Wizards. Coverage on Yes starts at 7 p.m. with the Nets pregame. Then Ian Eagle and Mike Fratello have all the action. Wizards and the Nets. It all starts tomorrow at 7, only on Yes. One out here in the 7th. And this appears to be the new shortstop, Jordy Mercer. And that's low and inside for ball 1.
Now, John and Kenny, what is the Independent League?
That is a league for a lot of players who have had some professional experience and are looking for a place to play. Maybe they've been released. And John actually runs a franchise.
Yeah, I do. My home county in New York, Rockland County. But, you know, it's a lot of kids maybe out of college who don't get drafted and they're still looking to play and get looked at by scouts. So it's professional baseball, just not affiliated with a major league club. You know, Cedeno was there last year, and it's interesting you mentioned getting a little tougher on lefties. Remember Mike Myers, the left-hander relief pitcher, who had a great career after he dropped down a little bit lower. I was actually with him in Detroit when he made that adjustment from your typical lefty up high to down low, and had a great career as a left-hander reliever.
Makes a big difference. Specialty type pitcher.
Breaking ball misses. Well, Jack Curry, as we all know, is always on the job, and he is standing by near the Yankee clubhouse, and he has a guest. Jack, take it away.
Thanks a lot, Kenny. Well, I'm here with David Robertson. And David, you had the bone bruise on your foot, but things are progressing very well for you. Give us an update on where you are.
I feel really good right now. I've thrown a couple bullpens through my last one today, and have been out doing some PFPs and really just making sure that my foot's really healed underneath me, and you know, I'm going to move on from there.
Now, the next step, you said maybe a simulated game, and then after that, possibly get into a spring training game?
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that's the plan, is to get a simulated game and face a few batters, and then really just try to get right back into a game and get ready for the season.
Now, off camera, you and I were talking before this started, and you were talking about how relieved you are that this is all that it is, that you were worried this could have been much more damaging.
Yeah, I was really worried at first. I'm glad that the MRIs and everything else came back good, and that I didn't fracture anything, because it could have really sidelined me for a long time. And just very fortunate that it was just bone bruise. You know, it's a stupid mistake, slipped on my own stairs, and you know, I had to cost me about 12 days, but I'm itching to get back there.
And 100% confident that opening day you'll be ready to go.
Yeah, I'm very confident that I'll be ready for opening day.
I can't let you go without asking you about the pitcher who's getting all the attention. What has it been like to have Andy Pettitte back? He reported today he threw a bullpen. Seeing him back in uniform, what did that mean for you?
It's great having Andy back. He's just such a great guy, and he's an amazing ball player. And you know, when he takes the mound, he's going to give you everything he's got. And I think it's great that we've got him back.
David, thank you very much. Kenny, I'm going to send it back to you.
Thank you very much, Jack. Thanks, David. As David Robertson might be back in pitching pretty soon. That's good news for the Yankee bullpen. Pinch hitter's Casey McGee. He's at the plate. 2 outs, nobody on. Top of the 7th inning. Yankees up on the Pirates 9-3. A big 5-run fourth inning for the Yankees. And McGee takes a pitch for a call strike.
I'm impressed David Robertson's still hanging around. The 7th inning, you're playing a National League ball club. Usually you don't, if you're somewhat veteran of a pitcher like David is, you don't really have to hang around too long.
He's getting the treatment.
Shows me something though, Kenny.
Yeah. You mean you'd be long gone?
Oh, I'd be. You gone.
Tried to check. Did he go around? Appeal at first now. The umpire says no swing. That's Marty Foster at first.
Yeah, when you're playing a team within your own division or within your own league, you stay for 5 innings, and then the manager usually lets you go. But you're right, against an opposition National League team, you can leave.
McGee had some big years with the Milwaukee Brewers the last couple of years.
They got him from the Cubs on waivers.
Yeah.
Did a heck of a job with Milwaukee for 2 or 3 years.
He hit over 20 home runs. He kind of fit right in with the
big Brew crew.
Yeah, Prince Fielder. And
well, that's a nice ballpark to hit in.
Yeah.
Okay, and the ball jumps there.
Bouncing ball, and it's going to be caught by the shortstop Bernier just behind the bag. Throws on the first, and Cedeno has himself a 1-2-3 inning. Bottom of the 7th coming up. 7th inning stretch upon us. Presented by Lincoln. Yankees leading 9-3. Pineda started out rough. He gave up 2 runs on 3 hits in the first inning. The only hits he gave up. 5 strikeouts in the next 2 innings. Alex Rodriguez 2 for 3 with 3 runs batted in. Big Swisher left the game in the 3rd inning with a groin injury. And Mariano Rivera had another sparkling appearance as the Yankees lead 9-3, going to the bottom of the 7th. And the first pitch is in there for a strike. On our Ford scoreboard, Yankees up by 6. Doug Bernier is the batter. Facing a new pitcher, it is Daniel Moscas, who is in there for the Pirates. An interesting note here, the Pirates have 2 pitchers listed with the same number. One is Chris Johnson. Good thing they have the names on the back. Didn't give up a home run last year. Pitch is fouled out of play. That kind of jumps out at you. Kept the ball in the ballpark. Bernier can play second, short, or third. Took over tonight for Eduardo Nunez had himself a hit and a run score. Foul tip. The at bat continues. This is the time of the game where your scorecard gets very interesting. 2 balls and 2 strikes. We were talking about how well the Pirates played last year and how much improvement they made. You know where they really made an improvement? At the box office. They had a 21% increase in attendance. Ball is fouled at the plate. That was the largest increase in the National League.
Well, it goes to show you, when you put a decent product on the field, people get excited. They come to the ballpark.
And as we mentioned earlier, actually in July they were in first place for a while. They kind of finished on a rough note. They went 19-43 down the stretch and ended up finishing 4th. But still, there seems to be hope on the horizon. Remember, the Pirates haven't had a winning season. Was it 19 years now?
Yep.
That's a long time.
Boy, they've had some good teams in Pittsburgh throughout the years.
Tell me about it. Swing and a miss. Bernier strikes out.
Well, Michael Pineda had kind of a rough first inning, and he made some mistakes on 3-2 counts here to Tabata. 3-2 slider. Flips it the other way, and then the big mistake in the first inning, another 3-2 slider that just hangs right there from McCutchen, a 2-run shot. But after that, he got it going a little bit. Some adjustments with the fastball. Picks up a strikeout there. It looked like a pretty good changeup maybe, and a fastball that freezes McCutchen on the outside corner. So all in all, not a bad evening.
After the strikeout by Bernier, here comes Francisco Cervelli, his first at bat, and the pitch is high for ball 1.
But the only negative was 3 innings. They wanted him to get what, 4 or 5 innings.
Yep.
See, but from maybe Cedeno's standpoint, that's how he got in the game tonight.
Well, we talked about that. When a pitcher doesn't do his job or doesn't pitch the innings allotted to him, somebody else is going to get an opportunity.
And Cedeno had a 1-2-3 inning.
Because usually you like to see starting pitchers at least work their way through 6 innings in spring training.
It's getting to be that time when you're supposed to stretch it out, and only 2 more weeks, maybe 2 more starts for each of these pitchers. Look out. Wow, how did he get out of the way of that? Pitcher should be rounding into shape about now.
You talk about Pineda, and well, he got his pitch count up, so that's a good thing. But you'd also like to see him sit in the dugout in between innings, get back out, get loose again. I mean, it's the whole process for a starting pitcher, sitting down and getting loose multiple times.
He's going to have to do that during the season.
Yeah.
There's Stump Merrill talking to Joe Girardi.
Now, Lee, you've been instructor down here during the course. How much fun is
I'm
that?
an O&E guy.
O&E.
Observer and evaluator.
On the ground to the first baseman. It's Haig who has it. It's going to flip to Musk is covering.
But I've had a good time, Kenny.
Yeah.
I really had. I got a chance to see the Gator and Goose and Reggie and Lee Mazzilli, the Stump. Stump was a coach when we played over there. He managed the Yankees for a little bit. He's a character. Yogi was in camp. Good memories.
Here is Bill Hall. And where did Stump fall into the line of managing, Lou?
Well, he managed in the minor leagues for quite a long time. Coached in the big leagues. And after a few firings, Stump got an opportunity. He's talking strategy with Girardi. He'd be a great bench coach for somebody. He really would be.
Been around baseball a long time.
He knows the game, loves the game. Sit and talk baseball all day long. Likes to eat a little bit too.
Is that the scouting report, Lou?
That's the scouting report, yeah.
Oh, boy. This is going to be a fun year. Bouncing ball towards short. That is that Mercer over there now. They switched positions. Mercer went to second, and Harrison went to short. Harrison makes the play. We'll see you in a little while, Stump. Individual game tickets for the 2012 season at Yankee Stadium go on sale as part of the pre-on sale exclusively for MasterCard holders starting Thursday, March 22nd at 10 a.m. and continuing through Sunday, March 25th at 10 p.m. To use your MasterCard to purchase tickets beginning March 22nd, visit Yankees.com/priceless or call Ticketmaster. That number is 877-469-9849. New pitcher is George Contos, the right-hander. And he'll be facing the top of the Pirates order here in the 8th inning. Be Boggs, Navarro, and Haig for Pittsburgh. Well, the Yankee bats have pounded out 10 hits tonight. Pitching's looked pretty good outside of the first inning for Pineda, where he struggled a bit. That pitch is low and inside to Brandon Boggs for ball one. Nashville AAA. Ball is popped up and out of play. I mean, you see some of these minor league cities. I'm trying to think of the minor league city that I enjoyed the most. I think it was Visalia, California. In the California League.
Any particular reason?
The weather was great. Ballpark was small.
Good combination.
Yeah. And that pitch is in there for a strike. It's one of those places, Lou, that I wouldn't mind going to visit again just to see what the city's like now.
I've always thought of visiting Selma, Alabama. My first year. D-ball. Haven't been back there. 1962.
Swing and a miss, and Contos strikes out Brandon Boggs.
But my favorite city, though, Kenny, was Portland, Oregon.
That's a beautiful town.
Yeah, beautiful. Just beautiful. City of Roses. The only problem was I spent 3 years there.
You could vote. Flash, you have a favorite minor league city?
Well, I mean, I spent about 4 years in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. But, you know, the thing I'm amazed at, speaking of Pawtucket, see how that comes up?
Oh, my goodness.
These minor league stadiums now are incredible how nice they were. or how nice they are.
Yamiko Navarro at the plate. Yeah, times have changed in the minor leagues.
Yeah.
I mean, that's become a pretty good business down there. Get new stadiums. Even spring training. I mean, the spring training facilities are phenomenal. This ball is popped up to the right side. Coming on is Chavez. He's there and makes the catch for out number 2. So you're saying Pawtucket?
I'm saying Pawtucket.
Okay.
Well, I remember when I was in spring training with the Orioles. We were in an Army base in Georgia. I forget Bainbridge, Georgia.
Wow.
Yeah, we had cots. You had to make your own beds and everything else. I mean, yeah.
Times have changed.
Yeah, they really have.
Indianapolis for Matt Haig last year. He hit 309. That'll get you a ticket out of town. You hit 309. It was only. I remember when I first got to the big leagues and I got on a hot streak. A veteran player came up to me, "Hey kid, there's no league higher than this one." 2 balls and no strikes on Matt Haig.
I'll tell you, it was a lot harder making a major league team then than it is now. First of all, you have more teams, obviously.
Especially for the pitchers. I mean, just.
Well, pitchers can move through the system. Yeah, they really can.
Well, more minor league teams, you mean, and less major league teams?
Yes.
There's more major league teams now, too. Yeah.
Yeah, more major league teams now, too.
That's what how Haig hit 300 last year at Indianapolis. Single to center field.
Yeah, when I signed, there was D ball, C ball, B ball, A ball, double A ball, then triple A. Wow. So you had to go up through the ladder.
Right down the middle and back through the middle for the base hit. This will bring up Harrison. Josh Harrison. He and Mercer actually switched positions last inning. Harrison came in the game at second. Mercer was at short. Then last inning they flipped. Harrison fouls one off to the right. Cantos has good arm there. Good fastball.
We've seen a good slider from him too earlier in this inning. We'll see if he goes to it on an 0-2 count here with 2 outs.
Fastball, slider change. I've been impressed with the Yankee pitching this spring. I really have.
I think the depth of the pitching, you know, I've been here for 15 years now. This is the depth of the organization as far as pitching is concerned, maybe the best I've seen in all those years. Pitches outside for a ball.
You know, they work fast. Most of them throw strikes.
Yep.
They can use 2 or 3 pitches effectively. And they've got some size to them. They can throw on a downward plane.
Bouncing ball, foul down the third base side.
Everybody got your hands.
Banuelos will be pitching at AAA. He's Manny Banuelos, one of the prime prospects. Dylan Betances, we've seen him this spring. He looked improved over last year. His control, his mechanics, finding his strike zone with a little more regularity. He's got some power. He's throwing in the mid-90s. Adam Warren, Dave Phelps. These are all good young pitchers. Another foul ball. In fact, Phelps is going to get the start down in Fort Myers. I think that's the day that CeCe was scheduled to pitch.
Yep.
CeCe avoiding a 2.5-hour bus ride, 5 hours on a bus. And at this time, you don't want to, this time you kind of skip your pitchers. You don't want to show them to the opposition teams you're going to be playing in a division as you get closer and closer to starting the regular season.
Plus the minor league teams are already playing. You can send CeCe down if you want and pitch right in minor league game. Let him get his work in.
Ball's hit in the air to right field. Let's go chase Colin Curtis back and towards the line. He's there, makes the catch, and the Pirates are retired in the 8th inning. They pick up a hit, nothing else against the Yankees. Going to the bottom of the 8th inning. Yankees leading 9-3.
Action heats up when the Yankees travel to Fort Myers to take on Bobby Valentine and the arch-rival Red Sox. Coverage on Yes starts at 7 o'clock as Ken Singleton and I bring you all the action. It's Yankees, Red Sox, and it all starts Thursday at 7 o'clock only on Yes.
Well, that's Thursday, but right now Justin Maxwell has himself his second double of the ball game, this time into the right field corner. So Maxwell, who came on for Swisher leaving the game with an injury, has walked and scored and now doubled twice.
Taking advantage of an opportunity that is presenting itself. His last double was on a slider out over the plate. Here he just rifles a fastball the other way.
And that's against the new Pirate pitcher, Jared Hughes.
Now, Kenny, as I just read that read about that game Thursday night, it reminds me CC Sabathia doesn't do road trips and Lou Piniella doesn't do road trips, obviously, because you and I are heading down to Fort Myers.
Well, you know, actually, it's about 125 miles to Fort Myers, and it's the equivalent of the trip from Phoenix to Tucson in the Arizona League. So I'd let my bench coach go over there and manage that ball game.
You know what? They cleared that up because those two teams are down in Tucson now in Phoenix.
No question.
Yeah.
That's over with.
I think it's the Rockies and the Diamondbacks have moved up to Phoenix.
So many teams around the Phoenix area.
Yeah.
I've been looking at the attendance figures, and where they used to have big sellouts, they're not getting as many sellouts because they got so many games to choose from.
Here's Colin Curtis, who's now playing right. He hits a shot in the left field for a hit. Maxwell's being waved home. The throw to the plate will not be in time, and the Yankees hit double figures. They lead 10-3. So Colin Curtis with an RBI single.
That's a nice looking stroke.
That kid can hit. Missed all last year because he tore up his shoulder in spring training.
Take another look at the pitch up out over the plate, and like Lou said, a nice stroke going the other way. Nice to see that he's healthy in this spring. Nice quiet with the front foot, gets it down early, and nice extension.
So Curtis is on, and Jason Nix is at the plate. Nix took over at third base for A-Rod and takes a pitch inside for a ball. Alex had a good night, drove in 3 runs. Must have known his ex-manager was watching her during the game. Here's a strike, and it's a ball and a strike on Nix.
I tell you, it was fun watching Maxwell running around those bases too, wasn't it?
He's a big guy. He's about 6'5", maybe 6'6". He's a small forward in the NBA. But to me, when they give that position small forward, none of those guys are small.
Nice jump. Nice jump. Good turn at third. No question.
There's some tools there. Low and away to Nix. 3 balls and a strike. 10-3, the Yankees leading. They have pounded out 12 hits in this game. Good night for the batting averages. Swing and a miss count goes full, 3-2.
Kenny, you mentioned those 12 hits and the 10 runs. You know, Kevin Long is Reggie Jackson looking on. Kevin Long, the hitting instructor, was mentioning the other day, it's about time to turn it up a little bit here, getting to the middle towards the end of spring training. He's got to be happy with what he's seen tonight from his regulars and some of the young kids getting some opportunities.
What's Reggie doing here in the 8th inning?
Might get that bat. Ground ball to short, and it's bobbled by the shortstop Mercer. Now Mercer to Harrison flipped last inning. Now they flip back. Harrison goes to second. Mercer's at short, and that's going to be an E6.
Kenny, Reggie's in pretty good shape.
He had his shoulder replaced. He had his left shoulder, I believe it was, replaced over the winter. He says he feels good now. He's ready to get back on the golf course.
He told me he was a mid-handicap golfer. Now, I don't know what that means
What does
exactly.
that mean?
Handicaps can go how high? Bouncing ball towards first. Haig has it. Throws to Mercer for 1. Back to Hughes covering at first. And it's a 3-6-1 double play. On the play, Curtis goes to third. Nicely turned by the Pirates.
Now, I would actually be interested to see Reggie Jackson's golf swing, because I'm sure he hits it a mile. Nice double play right here. Pitcher's best friend. Good job by Hughes getting over there and covering, acting like a first baseman.
Yeah, I've never seen Reggie play golf. I wonder if he plays left-handed.
You know, I didn't ask him that. I would think so.
If his handicap isn't too good, we can get him over to Oval to play a little bit.
This is Chris Dickerson at the plate, taking over the DH spot for Andruw Jones. Getting himself an at-bat. Knee high, but inside. Yankees used Dickerson quite a bit last year as a defensive replacement for Nick Swisher. Late in ball games. He's got some speed, good arm. Tracks the ball well in the outfield. Tracked that one well. And count goes to 2 balls and a strike. Bouncing ball towards second. Harrison charges and throws, and that's going to be it for the Yankees, but they pick up yet another run. It's on to the 9th inning. Last chance for the Pirates. Tonight, stick around for Yes Network special event, 10 years of Yes. It's the story of the magical moments and remarkable people that made up our dramatic first decade, including memories from the athletes, the fans, and the personalities who witnessed history. 10 years of Yes, tonight after the game, only on Yes. Fans' copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. New pitcher for the Yankees, Brandon Pinder. And he was an A-ball last year at Staten Island. Look at that earned run average. First pitch swung on. Mel Rojas Jr. grounded to short. One pitch and one out here tonight. By the way, that Mel Rojas Jr., he is the son of the former Major League pitcher, Mel Rojas, who was a good reliever back in the day. His dad had quite a splitter. He used to set up John Wetland while the two were pitching in Montreal. It's back in the day when I was doing their games on radio and TV.
A really good combination, 8th and 9th inning.
Oh, they were like shutdown, game over. Where are the car keys? We're leaving. Here's Eric Fryer, the catcher. He was in Indianapolis last year. Pinder deals and hits it corner for a strike, 93 miles an hour.
Just thinking about Pinder, this guy was in short season A-ball last year with Staten Island. Now the next spring he's in the big leagues, and with an ERA just over 1, you can see why. Just a lot of opportunities for young arms. If you show you can do it early, they're going to get a look at you.
Quickest way to the big leagues, pitching and proudly catching.
You keep pitching to a 1.16, somebody's going to find you. This ball's hit hard to right field for a base hit. Left that one up. And Fryer has himself a single in his only at bat. Now it's time for the play of the game presented by Delta.
Well, the Yankees had a very big bottom of the 4th inning, and right in the middle of it was Alex Rodriguez, a base hit to the left side. That's going to drive in 2 runs. And that base hit is your Delta play of the game. Big bottom of the 4th inning, 5 runs scored by the Yankees.
1 on, 1 out in the 9th. The Yankees leading 10-3. Jeff Clement at the plate. And he takes one lone inside for a ball.
Yeah, then they tacked on 2 in the 5th, and that's about the story of the ball game.
The hitting's been good. Pitching's been pretty good for the Yankees tonight. 3 runs. They've allowed 9 hits. That pitch is low. Ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes.
Well, the hitting coach will sleep well tonight. Kevin does a nice job with the hitters.
Yes, he does. Very hard worker. Travels all over the country visiting his players during the offseason. Here's a strike, knee high.
Very articulate, too. We had him on in the 5th inning ball game here a week or 10 days ago, and he used some 35-cent words.
Hit in the air to left field. Drifting back is Bill Hall. He makes the catch, and now the Pirates are down to their last out. And that'll bring up Jordy Mercer. I don't know what to call him, shortstop or second baseman. He's been both tonight. Right now, he's the shortstop. He's had one at bat and grounded to third. Well, Lou, we go back a long way, but tonight has been a pleasure.
It has been fun working with both you and John. I've enjoyed it.
And Flash,
looking forward to doing a few more games.
Oh, yeah. And Flash, I'll see you Thursday.
Yeah, we're on our own Thursday.
Fort Myers, baby.
250 miles of I-75. Round trip. Pitches foul back.
Look at all the baseball that you can talk.
Yeah, we get to see Bobby Valentine down there.
And a new complex, too, right?
Yeah, new stadium, JetBlue Park. That ought to be fun. So it's supposed to be a mini version of Fenway.
Now, this is a tease in the business, but I found out some inside information that it's not identical to Fenway Park. And you're going to have to wait a couple of days, Kenny. I know it's going to be tough.
You know what? It can't be. Fenway Park's over 100 years old. It's the 100th anniversary of Fenway.
I gotta clarify my information Thursday when we get there.
Oh, okay. All right, so fans, if you're watching right now, you got to tune in on Thursday night. John Flaherty has a news flash for you, so to speak. Pinder deals, ground ball towards the hole. He's going to give up a base hit. So Mercer gets himself a single, and the inning continues. Pirates not going quietly. Casey McGee will come to the plate. He's had one at bat and grounded out. Look forward to another fun year of Yankee baseball. And this year we're going to have Lou Piniella along for the ride. First pitch is outside for ball. Now, Lou, I know you grew up in this area. I actually played my first professional game over at Al Lopez Field when I was in Florida State League. I played for Winter Haven. We played our first game of the year at Tampa.
It was a wonderful ballpark.
It was. That pitch big. I went 3 for 3 in my first pro game, and I felt, oh, in 2 weeks I'm going to be in the big leagues. Took me 3 years.
3 years is pretty good.
Yeah. Pretty darn good. Yeah, I remember watching Pete Rose play back in with the Tampa. The heck were they? The Tampa
Tarpons?
The Tampa Tarpons. Yeah. Exactly right. Pretty good.
How did you know that?
Pretty good. I was going to say the Tampa Smokers, but they are. They were the Tampa Tarpons. Exactly right. With 33 doubles. I mean, 33 triples.
Pete Rose hit 33 triples
in 1961.
Whoa. Needless to say, he was only in town for 1 year.
1 year.
Yeah. 33 triples. Pitches foul back. The major league record for triples in a year, and the reason why I remember this is because it's unbelievable. Chief Wilson, he actually played for the Pittsburgh Pirates back in the early 1900s. He hit 36 triples in 1 year. That's the big league record.
I didn't hit 36 my whole career.
I didn't either. I think I hit 25. Runners go, 3-2 pitch hit in the air to center field. Maxwell turns the wrong way. The ball sails, but he makes the catch, and the ball game is over. So Joe Girardi and the Yankees come away with a big win tonight. Pitching's good. The offense was excellent. 10 runs on 12 hits for the Yankees over the Pirates, who have 3 runs and 10 hits. And the Pirates made a couple of errors. So Girardi and the Yankees now with a couple of days on the road. First to Port Charlotte and then down to Fort Myers to take on the Rays and then the Boston Red Sox. So the Red Sox will see the Yankees on Thursday. But for tonight, that'll do it from here at Giant George M. Steinbrenner Field in Tampa, Florida. Special thanks to producer Frank DeGrace, director Michael Bonner, vice president of operations Ed Delaney, our supervising producer Woody Fryman, and executive producer Mr. John J. Filabella. Join us again Thursday for Yankees baseball as the Bombers travel to Fort Myers, take on the Boston Red Sox at JetBlue Park at Fenway South. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. on the S Network. Once again, the Yankees win it 10-3. For Lou Piniella, John Flaherty, and Jack Curdy, I'm Ken Singleton saying so long, everybody.